you are, join us as we worship the Lord. Think about His goodness in your life. Think about His beautiful plans. He says, my thoughts for you are thoughts of good. Let's bless His name. Let's bless His name. My soul praise the Lord. 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 Oh, my soul praise the Lord. 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 Come on, sing. Me cry in a year. 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 Oh, me cry in a year from the bottom of our hearts. Oh, me cry in a year. Me cry in a year. Me cry in a year. My soul rejoice and praise the Lord. The ninth month. Rejoice and praise the Lord with our hearts full of gratitude. Oh, my soul, rejoice and praise the Lord. Rejoice and praise the Lord. Are you ready to rejoice? Rejoice. Oh, rejoice and praise the Lord. Rejoice and praise the Lord. My soul, rejoice and praise the Lord. Rejoice sing. Why,
trusts in the Lord, and the one whose hope the Lord is. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers, whose leaves will never wither. Believe the word of the Lord this morning. Yehovah Shiriame Yehovah Nimeshefu Shiriame Yehovah Nimeshefu Shiriame.
Good morning.
Welcome to your favorite Sunday morning TV show. We call the Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan.
And I am Inu Safo. Find me across all social media platforms, Inu_S and Jude's handle.
At Mensa Duncan. Very simple, very straightforward. On the show today, we have a lot of exciting stuff coming your way, important conversations. Of course, we'll delve into the news as well and bring you some of the big headlines from last night up until this morning.
As usual, the show is live and interactive, so we would love to hear from you. Send us those WhatsApp messages to the WhatsApp number 0204-447-033. 0204-447-033. Alternatively, you can go on social media. Use the hashtag Sunday Breakfast. We will read those messages right here on the show for you.
Amazing. We'll start off, of course, with a big reminder that there's so much happening in the month of March,
yes,
which is about exactly a week from today. Of course, the Heritage Caravan will start it off about Wednesday on the 25th.
Launching.
Exactly. We'll be launching the
Heritage Month.
Heritage Month right here on Channel 1 TV and City FM at the Channel 1 TV Gardens. I'm looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to it.
It
is by invite only, unfortunately. But you can still tune into Channel 1 TV because we're going to show it live on TV. And you can catch glimpses and pieces of what we'll be doing here on the Channel 1 TV Garden. So it's going to be fun.
Interesting.
It's going to be fun.
And the Sunday after, we are headed straight to, some 14 regions of the country for a fun-filled activity of touring Ghana and also showcasing, our tourism potential. I'm looking forward to that as well.
That will be interesting. 8 days of amazing fun, networking, food, experiencing food you probably never tasted or places you've probably never been to. So yeah. It'll be fun.
Of course, the Back to Your Village Food Festival.
The one you're looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to all actually, but I like Back to Your Village more because I get
but the Back to Your Village this year, I say, Enshad and favor Catholics.
It's in
We'll
Lent?
still be fasting, yes.
When does the Lent end?
After Good Friday.
After Good Friday?
Let's say after Easter Sunday. You see that thing?
But you can buy and put it in the fridge.
There's that option. Put it in the freezer.
I used to break the fast. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely see how it goes.
I remember when a lot of the charismatic churches were fasting at the
beginning
start
of the year.
Charlie. But each time when it's lunchtime at the office, I'll see some people, Charlie.
Oh, I mean.
But I know that the church too was fasting.
But if you're fasting, maybe they have different times of when you break your fasting.
So you're there from Monday to Friday, every time you have different time you break your fast.
Oh, maybe they break their fast at 1 when lunch is ready.
No, some of them do it. 8 a.m. they are there. 1 they are there. 5.
Maybe the 8 a.m. is to get a bottle of water, refill their bottle.
You see the chibom in front of them. Let me get me started here. So yeah, I'm sure our Catholic friends will be fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
We hear you.
They'll be fine. Anyway,
buy and put in our freezers.
Yesterday, actually from the whole of the week up until yesterday, doctors are not really happy.
Doctors, mom.
Particularly young doctors on social media.
Oh, I've seen them rant.
Yeah, they've not been happy with a lot of things happening.
But explain to us why they are unhappy.
With the Minister for Health over his comments around, doctors who refuse postings to rural parts of the country and issues around their payroll, so they are not happy. Also, this week, the issues around Charles Amis's death, the hit and run victim, and of course the baby theft issue, where a lot of people have had cause to suggest, a lot of the time allegedly also, that doctors and nurses, are parts of the challenges within our healthcare system. Some of them feel they lack the empathy the profession requires. On the other hand, they've also been quick to say that the current structure within the health system doesn't, bring out their best, right? And in that case, makes them come across as lacking the empathy for the job they do. So it's brought the health sector under severe scrutiny. A lot of people are not happy, truthful, truth be told. If you go on social media, you look at our videos, the comments, and there's a lot going on. Yesterday on the Big Issue show, we had about 3 doctors, right?
Yeah.
And of course a lawyer. Actually 4 doctors and a lawyer,
including
including Dr. Kwame Sapon, who had so much insight into the conversation. I must say, Dr. Norman Ishmael Norman is has a PhD in public health, which is still health. It's a big part of health. So it was interesting listening to them on their views. But one thing is clear: reforms are needed, and it's important that we try and improve, the current health infrastructure and systems. Others have said that we also need a massive retooling. So I'll try and bring you stories from yesterday's engagements.
Okay, let me start on channel1newsonline.com. Stories you'll find on our page or our portal. 6 children escape as fire destroys Saboba Hospital ward. 6 children escape as fire destroys Saboba Hospital ward. Other stories: government to translate math, science materials into Ghanaian languages. That's according to Clement Apak. Over 600 companies signed up for 1D1F, the IFIA MP says so. Garata food diversion: no single person should control school supplies. Joseph Kumi is saying so. Franklin Kujo: funds wasted on National Cathedral could have improved health care. Other stories: 24-hour economy law to spur agric jobs, according to Joyce Bauer Mokhtari. Rising input costs plaguing farmers, Nitiwo. No DV plate shortage, that's according to the DVLA CEO. Jude?
Interesting. Let me take you to citynewsroom.com. High cost risks hindering off-grid electrification. That's coming in from the Energy Minister, John Abdullahi Jenapo. I'm not sure it's Abdullahi. Yeah, John Jenapo, I think is his name. Anyway, moving on. CDD fellow calls for honest review of Ghana's health system failures, and that's from Dr. Kwame Esiedu Sapon. Also here, VIP extends Ramadan greetings, donates to Cape Coast Central Mosque. Afenyo Markin, the minority leader, is in the news. He says VIP extends Ramadan greetings, donates to Cape Coast Central Mosque. Also here, move beyond rhetoric, create jobs. Afenyo Markin tells government 1D1F collapsed due to lack of law. Rashid Pelpo speaking there. Ganata SHS Beza arrested over alleged food supply diversion. And in Gomoakoti, 2 land guards, 12 national security officers remanded for demolishing 60 houses. Ghana Burkina Faso adopts new joint security framework to combat terrorism. And in Mamprobi, the baby theft issue, according to a security analyst, is overblown, suggesting that Ghana is still safe. And the security analyst is Dr. Ishmael Norman. The former health minister, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, calls for urgent completion of police hospital project. And Dr. Thomas Anaba, a former Rage Hospital CEO and now member of parliament for Garu, he says turning away ER patients without assessment unacceptable. Dr. Anaba cautions. Nearly 70% of hospital death linked to emergency units. Okoboy again in the news. And finally here, National Service Authority settles 2025 arrears of service personnel. Charlie, so if you are dating a service personnel or or you were dating one, please be minded. If the excuse was that the money didn't hit, now the money it dropped.
Why would you even go take a service personnel's money?
Oh, but people who are service, if you are doing your service, you can't be in a relationship.
I'm not saying you can't be in a relationship, but why are you taking their money? Scanner saying.
But
Scanner saying you should rather be topping up.
No, if you are dating a service person and the person, they go on dates.
I'm not saying they shouldn't go on dates.
If a service person is given an excuse of, we can't go on these days because the money hasn't dropped, I'm saying that now the money has dropped. So,
so the dates that was postponed can now be gone.
Exactly.
Oh, well,
if he doesn't stay, that means I just doesn't want to take you, or she doesn't want to take you. So let's be minded. I know.
All right. I'm on graphiconline.com. Stories there. Akashi College of Education honors retirees and see the areas that will be affected by ECG's planned maintenance this week, February 22 to 28. And when Indomie laptops became weapon for sex, no transit trucks missing, Ghana Link insists amid tax evasion probe. Ghana Burkina Faso signs 7 agreements after talks. Ghana Health Service condemns attacks on staff. Visible name tags for health staff non-negotiable, according to the health minister. Health Ministry sets up committee to investigate alleged denial of emergency care. What do you mean by alleged denial? Anyway. And the dismissed petitions against OSP and EC officials. Jude.
Did you know the Gamanche had a road accident?
Yes, I did.
In the OT region?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so myjournalline.com is reporting that the Gamanche has been discharged from UGMC following OT region accident. It comes with a photograph of the Gamanche who is smiling as he leaves. And, but prior to that, President Mahama actually visited the Gamanche at UGMC after the horrific accident. And that story is also on myjournalline.com. Majority blast minority over Burkinabe border bloodbath claims. And Ghanata SHS story still here as the bears are arrested for alleged diversion of food for students, and other supplies. These are the big stories on myjoyonline.com.
All right, I'm on gna.org.gh. Stories there. Ghana Burkina Faso sign 7 agreements to deepen security economic cooperation. U.S. Embassy warns Ghanaian travelers against visa overstays during 2026 World Cup. ATU Vice Chancellor urges academic integrity among fresh students. President Mahama extends warm Ramadan wishes to Muslims. GHS enforces uniform name tag policy after Mamprobi baby theft incident, and CDD lauds Mahama's administration for exceptional macroeconomic stability.
I think we should pay more attention to the CDD assessments, right? Here at Channel 1 TV, we also had, a 1-year analysis of the Mahama administration 2.0, which really went well. I think CDD 2, and I think generally, if you listen to the assessment, everybody seems to be rating the government the same, right, in terms of its performance. But there's so much more that needs to be done. Galamsey, Eno.
That was one of the things that people were unhappy about. I think that's also unemployment issues and a couple of other things.
But I see, somebody said that polls are for strippers,
What does that mean?
So the person I felt like the quote is to play with words.
Okay.
Strippers use polls. But when it comes to elections and they say polls, it means something else.
Yeah.
So polls are for strippers to mean that you can't really take polls seriously. There is a two-sword kind of approach.
How can you not take it seriously if you're in policy and you're in government and you're trying to...
If your life depended on the Ayawaso East election,
right,
for example, and the results came out, prior to the results, we were told somebody else was going to win. By in fact, the country's leading pollster.
You say fear delegates.
But that's the point. Every election, you fear delegates. Which election? The other ones you predicted in Ayawaso, in Akwete and Co. The votes by not happen. It happened.
It happened.
So I don't think it's a good excuse to say that, oh, people were bought. Well, you can say that we saw, to an extent, quite unprecedented levels of votes by, including the power of Kosiani Beko. But I don't think it's a good excuse to say, oh, people. But back to my point. So if you were there, you would agree with me that polls are for strippers, right?
There where? At Ayawaso
East.
Okay.
Exactly the point. So, what was I even going to say? You divest. Yes, So, back to the issue. A lot of people feel like if you should conduct a poll right now on the performance of the government 1 year into office, 3 months ago, they would have scored the government maybe a B in health, right? But if you have to do the poll today and you ask the same health questions, Akanda will be languishing somewhere on an E or a D
or an F.
Right? Because circumstances change very quickly over time. So it will be interesting to know the performance on government in key sectors. On the economy, I think it's fairly okay, right? Except that people complain utility bills are high. Health, now we know there's a challenge.
Yeah.
Sports.
And there's always been a challenge with our health. I think it only comes up when issues persist, or issues such as Charles Emisa's thing, rise again, because it's happened before. Reforms, there was a whole meeting, a committee.
In fact, Parliament.
Yes, Parliament. They gave out what should be done and what should not be done. And then we went to, business as usual, and it's happened again. Another committee has been formed. They'll also come out with what should be done and what should not be done and what reforms need to be done, and we'll go back to business as usual. In university, I've always told you that keep your scripts as journalists. All you need to do is change the date and the location. Same story. It's not Ghana that we are in. I should have faith.
Have faith.
I
have faith.
I'm glad you have faith.
It's a song we sing in church that says faith, mighty faith. You need mighty faith in Ghana. We'll be fine.
Our beloved country.
Can we delve with some of the stories?
Yes. I've opened the 6 children escape as fire destroys Saboba Hospital on channel1newsonline.com. A bit of the story. 6 children narrowly escaped harm after a fire gutted the children's ward of the Saboba Assembly of God Hospital on Saturday evening. The blaze, which reportedly started at the entrance of the ward, quickly spread through the facility, destroying the structure entirely. According to nurse manager Mr. George Olamba, the Ghana National Fire Service responded swiftly but encountered equipment challenges. With the support of local residents, the fire was eventually brought under control, preventing it from spreading to other parts of the hospital. At the time of the incident, 6 children were on admission. Hospital staff and relatives acted quickly to evacuate them, and they have since been moved to the male ward to continue receiving treatment. Hospital authorities say an assessment is underway to determine the extent of the damage and the immediate support needed to restore services. I feel like when it rains, it pours in the health sector. So many issues this week. We're starting another week with a fire. We're just happy that the children were able to escape unharmed, and we would hope that one day we'll get the details of what started the fire, because every time you ask the Ghana National Fire Service, investigations are being done, but at the end of the day we never see the report. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not meant for public consumption, but sometimes we just need to know what happened, what triggered the fire.
Absolutely.
Just so that we can educate ourselves and the public as to what not to do when it comes to electricity and using certain items.
Especially with the kind of public spaces we have in our markets, in our, even in our communities, right? Very tight-knit. So you want to let the people know, the causes. You want to let them know what the factors, so that they're also minded, right?
Yeah. What story do you have for us?
Yes, I want to take you to the health sector again, and forgive me, right? Because Oko Boy is in the news. He made some interesting point.
Yesterday on Big Issue.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
The submission that resonated the most with me was from a lawyer, right? He's with the Movement for Change. His name is Andrew Appiah Dankwa, and he blamed the persistent no-bed syndrome to politics. So the big headline is Ghana's politics driving no-bed syndrome. Now, head of legal affairs of the United Party, Andrew Appiah Dankwa, has blamed Ghana's persistent no-bed syndrome crisis on what he describes as a culture of Machiavellian politics that prioritizes power over people, warning that it has contributed to the country's retrogression. And this story is on citynewsroom.com. This follows the death of the 29-year-old engineer Emisa, who reportedly died after being turned away from 3 major hospitals in Accra, Rage, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and the police hospital due to a lack of beds. Speaking on City FM's The Big Issue show, of course, which also is on Channel 1 TV, on Saturday, February 21, he argued that the recurring challenges in the health sector, including the lack of hospital beds, are symptoms of a deeper political problem. Now, this is the quote: "I'm convinced that the fundamental reason we are facing these problems is because of the very Machiavellian politics we do here in this country. The focus of the politics we do here isn't the human being. It is about how we get power and how we sustain ourselves in power," he said. Mr. Dankwa maintained that such an approach to governance has stalled national progress and weakened key sectors, including healthcare. And the story goes on and on and on. I'd urge that people go on YouTube and watch the show for themselves. It gives them a very holistic view of the healthcare system. I love that all of the panelists, especially the politicians, they didn't speak as politicians. They spoke candidly. Yeah, they spoke as, healthcare professionals, medical doctors for that matter. And I think that if we listen to them, it will help. People say, politicians always get the best idea when they leave government. But the truth also is that when they're in government, their interests are a lot. So much that one person can't have his way, right? Charlie, chief of staff is watching his own way. Vice president is watching his own way. In fact, DCs, MCs, and if you don't sometimes try to meet them halfway, they sabotage your efforts. So, yes, it's true. He was probably health minister. But the point is that he alone can't fix a structural problem that existed for 60 years plus. So I hope that you are minded to relook this.
After the show, I called Dr. Kwame Sapon-Sedu to thank him for joining the show. And that's how I keep relationships with DC Facey.
You should show me.
I should show you the way forward. So I called him to thank him for coming on the show. And he was talking about our health system.
I know. They are very passionate about it.
Yeah. And he was saying that if politicians would set aside the politics and take a candid look at our health care sector and our shortcomings and all of that, then it would be better for all of us, because it's not the first time it's happened. It might happen again, hopefully not. But we need to take a holistic assessment of our healthcare system, fix the gaps, solve the solutions, and then we can move forward as a country. Because, this is just one story that has come into the public light. But imagine the countless families. I think on CBS throughout the week, people have been sharing their stories of how their family members have died. Those were not reported by us, the media. So imagine the countless number of people who have lost a relative through, this no-bed syndrome. It's like it's normal, but it shouldn't be normal.
It can't be normal.
It can't be normal. And I hope that going forward, we'll take accountability. Me and you have both tried to speak to the GMA and the GRNMA, and they won't pick our calls.
I don't like to do this, but let me get your thoughts. Where do you stand on this? Right? People feel like generally there's that lack of empathy among healthcare professionals, right? And they cite so many examples.
Sometimes I feel they've seen death so many times that they become immune. They become immune.
But that can't be a good reason. That is not even professional. Yeah. So yesterday on the Big Issue show, Dr. Thomas Anaba took time to explain the triage process, right? So you can't say you've seen it too many times, but if you listen to some young doctors, they tell you that when we say lack of beds, for example. It is just an English way of saying that there's no real space. But there are also equipment constraints, right? So, for example, there could be a physical bed, but the oxygen the patient needs is being used by somebody else. So what's the point in bringing that patient there and not have oxygen for the person? So in as much as is sometimes also a physical space, it's an infrastructure problem and also equipment. You know, there's a report out there, Dr. Kwame Esedu, read on the show.
Yeah.
And for even rich, like in all of its infrastructure glory, people look, and Nigerian came to Ghana, saw the rich hospitals like, wow. But they don't have a CT scan. They don't have the other one, MRI.
Yeah.
And you listen to other people and it's so basic, right? So I'm really torn in this debate. And I listen to my friends who are outside and they say that at the very least, healthcare professionals should at least look at the patient.
Yeah.
At the very least. And, excuse that, you can't treat a patient on the floor and the likes. It's not true. Because a friend in the UK was telling me that he's seen patients, being treated on the floor. And then very briefly before we go, another thing about emergency care is that you're not supposed to be there in perpetuity or for long. Yeah. And this is Dr. Anaba saying on the Big Issue yesterday. Yeah. According to him, a patient should even be in an emergency ward for more than 24 hours.
Yeah.
The idea of it is that you are looked at because it is an emergency. And then move to. So I hope we have a very dispassionate look of the issues and at least hear from, a lot of the time when we talk about these issues, we talk to the big people. Some of them pass through the system, but they are not in the system again. They are not in the emergency wards. They are in boardrooms, which is also okay. But going forward, I think we should also speak to some of the doctors, in the field.
They're not picking our calls.
And also, we should find them and
you
get
and
them
I
to
have
speak.
tried the whole of last week.
We should find them and get them to speak.
Plus the nurses. None of them are
they should
picking
speak.
our calls.
And finally,
I even forwarded questions to GME. They still didn't
you know,
pick my call after the questions I sent them.
You know, finally, the Ghana Medical Association, registered nurses, they need to speak on the matter. And at the very least, explain to us the process through which they arrive at the conclusion that there's no bed here.
What do their protocols state?
Exactly.
Is all we want to know.
And that will help us going forward in this conversation. Simple. But I wish Minta Kando well. I think he's trying his best.
He's got grey hair.
You get that one they forget. But he's also enjoying the perks that come with it.
Well,
I've been to his space. It's a nice, so we make you comfortable to work. So we trust. Yeah. I have confidence in him.
All right, take us on a break.
I wish him well. And on that note, we'll take a quick break. When we are back, there's a lot more right here on Breakfast Sunday Breakfast. You don't want to miss out. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. We started off the show with the gospel ministration. Of course, we also went into the news review. It's now time for a very important conversation with Dr. Annie, who will be helping us with some insights on, some important conversations coming up. But, you have just very briefly, right? Yes,
so this is on citynewsroom.com and it's stating, how Ghana's accident and emergency protocols work. So it says that in the critical moments following a road crash, a sudden heart attack or acute trauma, the difference between life and death often comes down to the efficiency of a hospital's response. To ensure every second counts, Ghana's health ministry has laid out comprehensive accident and emergency protocols. Now, these guidelines dictate how facilities across the nation must organize staff and equip themselves to manage medical crisis with precision. And so it states it.
The whole
structure
process,
and
right?
standard requirements, essential equipment and medicines, human resource standards and training, and all of that. And it's on citynewsroom.com. So if you go on citynewsroom.com, you can read that. Yeah.
So Dr. Anigezi has already joined us in studio. The article is on City Newsroom, right?
It's on citynewsroom.com.
Amazing. So, look, we'll be discussing child mental health.
That's right.
Right, but this week, of course, we'll delve into it pretty shortly. The country has been thrown into a state of shock. For some people, anger, at the healthcare system, by extension, the professionals in it. I don't know, child health, mental health, but if I saw my uncle, for example, or my relative,
being splashed all over the news as passing
dying
away
in the
manner in which he passed away.
Your uncle? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not saying my
Oh,
uncle.
sorry.
Yeah, but I'm
It's a
saying
Ghana
that
uncle.
from exactly from the perspective of the conversation
sorry,
we
carry
have.
on.
If you should see your uncle, pass in the manner that he did, or your relative, how would you want us to process this and deal with the associated grief that comes with it?
Anyway, good morning to you, and good morning to you, and good morning to your viewers. It's a painful one, and for me, I always come from the angle of mental health, the impact and the trauma, because what people don't realize is something happening to one person happens to all mentally, because seeing somebody die, seeing somebody being traumatized, going through that trauma, because I saw some stuff online, and I was emotional about it, and I thought, oh my God, and then the screaming and the crying and all of that, because what it does is that it's not just that incident or what is happening at the time, but what is actually happening for other people that is happened to, other people who've gone through all sorts of, should I say, bereavement, or things that, because then you hear people having conversations, my cousin went there, my mom went there, and my sister went there to have a baby, and so people start telling their stories, and it awakens so much pain. So it's important for us to have systems in place. I always talk about hubs, especially for me in my area of mental health and addictions, that we need hubs, we need areas or a helpline or whatever that people can call and say, you know what, actually I'm struggling here, or just walk in and say I'm struggling here. I think that, I'm not here, I'm not a politician or anything, so I don't want to get into that, but I think there's so many privatized things, so everything is paid for, and that makes it very difficult for the ordinary person to seek help. So even when we are struggling, it's difficult. So in that, it would have been good if we had services where people can go to, and also just like you're doing now, channels of talking about it. How are you actually feeling at home? How are you processing this at home? Is there anything that we can do to support you? And then, go to that center, go to that place, talk to that person. And these are the ways that, it's funny, did you talk about the Minister of Interior earlier?
No, we didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, sorry. Sorry, I visited the office with something. So, so we need to have avenues and ways to process that. And again, I always say that let's use our community. So let's use our family members to support. When things like that happen, let's check in and know how you're doing. How you doing, Jude? That sort of thing. It could be a neighbor, it could be even a stranger. At the time when it's happening, people around could have supported people. So let's use what we have. Most of the time, I think it's easier for us to talk about what we don't have. Or what do we have right now? As somebody would say, what do you have in your hands that you can use? What have you got? We've got each other. We've got the community. We've got our neighbors. We've got our family. So let's use that.
Dr. Annie, do children actually, get mental health, or do they really have issues with their mental health, or are we just, Why are you laughing?
Because it's a good question.
No, it's a perfect question, actually.
Because I feel like...
Because last week was Mental Health Awareness Week for children.
Right.
But that's something that, and the one for adults is somewhere, I think, May. And we focus so much on adults and we leave that. But we forget that it starts from childhood. And I was doing a talk last week around the effects of domestic abuse on children, in terms of they are not being directly abused, but indirectly abused in the sense that they witness or maybe going through bullying, and that children feel anxious. Children suffer from social anxiety. Children suffer depression, but how they process it, how they deal with it might be slightly different from, how adults would. So you see a child who maybe doing well in class, and then suddenly their grades are going down, and nobody, because in our community most of the time it's changing now, but we talk at children instead of talk to them or talk with them. So it's like, just telling them, do this, don't do that, do this, but we don't explain, we don't go into detail, we don't sit down to listen or have a proper conversation with our children. So you go to a party, or you go to a time, I stopped going to certain parties, let me put it that way, because it's supposed to be for the child. Maybe the child is 5 years old, 10,
but
12. But you get
event.
people at the age of 50, 60 dancing away. And it's just like, who are we here for? What is actually happening? And maybe the children are running around the streets and all of that. And it's very common in our community where we take over and we think that children are voiceless. Yes, but that they are the silent sufferers, because they won't come to you and say, Auntie, actually, I'm struggling, unless you have that relationship with them, or you open up. Or mommy, I'm going through this or that. But when you gradually build that relationship or that rapport, you don't have to say, they would actually come to you and say, because my clients and people I go to and the talks that I give, I say, make time in a day, even if it's half an hour, check in and check out. So when you check in, it's like, oh, you know what, actually today I really had a not so good day at work. Oh my God, this happened. Sometimes it's even good to come up with a white lie to say, oh, this person did something to me. You don't have to mention names. Then the child says, actually, mommy or daddy, do you know what? I also had a very horrible day. Because what you've done is created a platform for the child to talk. And I think that I remember a school that started introducing that as well, where in the morning, a teacher started introducing it, not the school. They checked in. So do you know what? How are you all? How did you get to school today? Some say, oh, we got a bus. My parents brought me. I walked to school and all of that. Are you all okay? Then maybe a child will say, actually, do you know what? That person sitting there is actually not talking to me. And that was one of the healthiest class that got an award. The teacher got an award for actually doing that. So the children look forward to coming to school, because whatever they've got at home, they can't wait to go and discuss it at school, to discuss it in the classroom.
I remember when I returned to Ghana, I think one of the things my mom did that I'm so appreciative of is that she spoke to my teachers in my new school in Ghana and told them that I'm a very expressive child. And so that she doesn't want them to, how when Ghanaians, a child is expressing themselves and they're like, hey,
we talk too much.
We talk too much. So
that's true.
For that, I'm so grateful.
Mom did very well.
For that, I'm so grateful. We're paying some.
And then even sometimes, you go to some families, it's getting better, as I said. You can't look an adult in the face, because that means you're disrespectful. And it's funny I'm saying this, because in the UK as well, I had to educate prisons about the fact that if black people come here, if Africans come here and they don't look at you, not because they don't respect, because prisoners were being punished. Black prisoners were being punished for the fact that, how dare I'm talking to you and you're looking down. So I had to educate them that it's a cultural thing. We don't do it out of respect. That you're my superior, you're the prison officer, or you're whoever, you're the governor. I can't look at you because you're my superior. And then they appreciated that oh my God, then we have to introduce things like that, where we get educated about culture and traditions and how we deal with people. So some of these things don't give the children. So children like that will also travel abroad, sit in a classroom, and they would be talking to the teacher will ask a question, they will look down and it's like, why are you not looking at me? You're disrespecting me. You're being this, you're being that. But the child is also saying, you're my teacher, I have to respect you. So these are some of the things that the cultural barriers, issues that we need to actually, as parents, as teachers, today we're here challenging the whole nation. Let's do more for our children, because I don't think we do much. We don't do much because we just see them as they're growing and let's just leave them. Let's just, we provide food for them, shelter, all that. That's it, but that's not enough. We need to talk to them more, because children suffer. And like I said, they won't tell you. See children bedwetting, and that's the way of expressing their mental health, that they are so stressed.
Will you say it's a common, phenomenon with children depending on the social, economic standing of the family, right? Whereas those middle class, upper class, don't tend to have the challenges more.
Who told you that?
So is the question. As compared to those lower the socioeconomic ladder.
I think we all have it, but it depends on, like you said, how it's handled or who is doing what. At the lower level, obviously, it's like, do I even know that I have mental health problems, or do I even understand? Or the parents, do they even know that this child is exhibiting this because of neglect, because of poverty, because they're starving, because the school is not provided, because they don't have shoes to go to school, and it's affected them because other children have it, or they have this school uniform this year and they have the same next year, and it's affecting them because people are teasing them, and it's affecting their mental health, that level. Then we have the upper level or the middle, whatever, where parents are busy working or busy building their empire that they don't have time for the children. So the children need to go to, that's why you see a young girl, maybe 14, 13, has got a boyfriend, driving cars, going out of home. Where are the parents? So that's why I said that, really, no. We all have it. It doesn't matter what level. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest person on the planet or you speak to them and they'll tell you, well, I haven't seen my mom for 1 week. Or I haven't seen my dad for 1 week. You get that. And you get things like that because parents are too busy building their empire, or they're socialites. So they're busy organizing the cocktails and the parties and the let's go here, let's go there. So little time. Sometimes they have to actually, some children have to book appointment to see their parents. You'd be surprised. Oh, Mom, are you free Monday by... let me just check my diary. Okay, 6 o'clock we can talk. But please, let's make it short because by 6:30, I have a Zoom meeting. Exactly. You'd be surprised,
Wow.
Let me just confess to the whole world as I'm on TV. I won't say I was like that, but I was a little bit like that until COVID. Then I realized that, oh my gosh.
Everything can actually wait, right? Yeah, because COVID taught us that,
exactly.
What you think was very important, not quite.
Isn't.
No,
yeah,
because I realized that I've never ever spent a whole month with my child since after maternity leave.
Wow.
Never ever till
a
COVID.
Whole month.
A whole month, never.
But that one too maybe it's extreme.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say, a proper, even when she's on holidays, 2 weeks here, we'll go abroad or we'll do this or we'll do that. But I'd never really sat until she started doing her work from home and all of that. And I thought, gosh, this is good, because I was working from home. And then I decided that maybe I have to start working part-time because I really don't do it. So this is where the mental health issues we're talking about. How much time do we have, especially career parents as well? I'm talking to them all. How much time do we really make for our children? Take 1 hour out, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 5 p.m. This is parents and whatever, children's time.
Yeah.
Put that phone away, put that laptop, whatever it is that you've got away, and say, this is family time. Let's talk. Let's have a laugh. Let's put away the tensions and let's talk. Let's create that. And that is good for our children.
Talking about laptops and phones, you see that, kids are holding laptops, and sometimes they get so engrossed in it. Can that affect them in any way and lead them to have mental health issues?
Because that's what is educating them. Because they go there, if they need something, where's mommy? She's look at my mommy, she's on TV now. She doesn't have time for me. If I go on right now, maybe somebody would answer that question, the burning question. As to whether it's the right answer for them, age appropriate, that's another thing. Hence, we're having the grooming and the kidnapping and all that going on. Because children are growing faster than they should mentally. So definitely their mental health will be affected. And also, I think we've discussed comparisons here as well. They're comparing. So if somebody should say, oh, you know what, my parents said this, or I'm going out this afternoon with my mom or something, that child would think, oh, mine don't even do that with me. That means they don't love me.
The Channel 1 research decks put out some interesting work by KPMG, remodeled the work on how generations spend their money. Right. So Generation Z, 97 to 2012, what we call the Gen Zs, for short. Their food expense was 73%, whereas their savings was between 5 to 10% of their income. For millennials, 81 to 96, you realize that their savings was still same, but their investments, a lot more hard investments, right? Then of course, Generation X, 96 to 80. And we also see that the Gen Zs were on their phone more time.
Definitely.
And I think aspects of the report also said that it has made them less intelligent than the previous generation. So I don't know what you make use of, what you make do with this data.
I think think it's correct because, I mean, once upon a time, I remember when I was in uni, and maybe you as well, we didn't have AI and we didn't have all of that. And if you have to do a piece of work, you have to go and sit in the library all day.
Research.
Even to get your dictionaries and all of that, the references, you have to spend a whole day, book a table and sit there. But now all I have to do is, if I want to write a book, go on, you know, it's like, okay, what can AI tell me? What can this place tell me? What can that tell me? So how do you learn? It's good because it's made life easier, but it's also not making people think, because we've got all these gadgets thinking for us. Like we said, you go on social media and you have a problem. All you have to do is put it there. Once upon a time, maybe, oh, let me go and talk to my parents or my aunt or my uncle or my grandma. Maybe they've got 80 years of experience or knowledge about this. So even marriages, now you have a problem with your spouse. All you do is just go online. Exactly. Or ask whatever. But before, you say, oh, grandma, are you free tomorrow? Can I come over and talk? You sit down and have a proper chat. So all that learning social skills, gone. Learning whatever, you know. I'm learning lots of Ghanaian food through social media because there are certain things I think, oh, I want to make akro, I want to make this, I want to make that. And then you just learn it. It's good on that, but at the same time also it's isolating us, because I feel like before I would have gone to somebody whilst we were chatting, they would teach me. And these are some of the social skills. So that is accurate. Maybe it's even worse than what they've put down. Maybe they've even polished it. You know, our society is just changing and changing and changing. And if we don't grab hold, you know, I don't know whether you've seen that there was a video that went viral some time ago about seeing parents sit there and then two kids, and they booked to go to a restaurant. And then as soon as they ordered, they were all on their phone. And I took that on board. So anytime I went out, I started looking around. I thought, look at the psychology of this. They're all on their phone or whatever, one person, and you see maybe the youngest one is sitting there bored, because it's like, why are we here? You know, we might as well stay at home. The whole idea is to come together as a family, but we're doing our own thing. And even some parents will go to the extent of actually, if the child is the one that doesn't want to go on phone, they will give them something. And maybe put it on nursery rhymes or whatever, just to shut them up so that they can continue talking to somebody or texting or doing whatever. So, yeah, we need to revisit the old and look at, you know, introducing, because now, for instance, in England, lots of libraries and that are closing down. I don't know whether you know it or not, but they are closing down. Why? Because people don't even bother to go and borrow the books, actually walk in, borrow the book. You go 1 week to read and bring it back, because everything is on your thing. So why bother? So like electronic books, so physical books. And now physical books are becoming very expensive because people are not borrowing them. People are laying librarians off and all that. And I'm sure it's happening here as well. And then, yeah, so we need more time with our kids.
I asked you the question on the socioeconomic status because of some, you know, conversations I had with a friend. I remember, again, for context, you know, his parents passed. So when we were in school, you know, basic JSS, it was his grandparents who were taking care of him. Passed his exams, went to Achimota school. And I remember him telling me so clearly that the first year in Achimota school was the most, for want of a better word, most depressing, right? Because he goes into his dormitory, you know, and he's looking at people's chop boxes, you know,
full of all sorts.
I can imagine, you know, at Chimota school, you know, the best of the best.
And then weekends as well, parents will come and visit.
Exactly. Then, you know, he looks at his and he's like, you know, but he was a smart guy. He was a really so I think his academic, you know, credentials made room for him. So it's a thing a lot of people go through. Right, because even in Accra Academy, I quite recall that, you know, some people will come to school and everything will come to a standstill. You know, people's parents were coming to visit them in convoys. you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't even like they were presidents or any senior government thing. So how do you deal with that inferiority? Because it's destroyed a lot of people. You know.
Jude, you've narrated something really important. I totally forgot about. What I'm doing now is work with schools, and that's what we should embark on. Working with schools about really helping children to understand who they are, grabbing hold of their identity. It doesn't matter who you are. It's not about the beginning. There are kids that you will start with now. I'm not wishing anyone not well or whatever, but you get to a point you realize that even though you had nothing, you're the one going to actually make it. So it's about the children understanding who they are and where they're going in life. And having counselors in schools is very important. The children have a space where they can go and talk. And also the counselor going into assembly and empowering them, what we today call motivational speaking and that. So the children understand that maybe today you have nothing. But if you work hard, if you do what you're doing, if you continue, there is hope and things will get better, because these are some of the things that motivate. As I go around schools, I'm noticing that children are coming, young people are coming to me and talking to me about some of the things that you're talking about. And I say to them, and then I say, what do you want to be in future? And they would say, and I said, that's a good thing. Do you know that if you focus on that? So I'll give them a story and they say, oh, okay. And they say, so if I continue, would I be able to do? I said, of course. It may be really hard now. Maybe even at home, things are not great. But just focus and do what you have to do. Come to school, do your work. If you're really struggling, just talk to your teacher. So I go back and I feedback some of the things that I identify or notice or observe to the head teachers. And sometimes I talk to the teachers as well. They make me talk to the teachers. So we can do it. But I think that we need to start using resources in our school in terms of counseling and people really going and empowering these kids, because you can't change their social status. You can't. We can't do it. What we can do is empower them and give them the tools that they need to be able to work hard, work smart, and be able to provide for themselves in future, or rebuild or build their lives in future. And also ensure that at least whilst they're there, they're okay.
We talk about inferiority, and let's come. We talk about inferiority starting or at the high school level where the child is probably, or the person is probably in the teens, right? But you get a sense also that even amongst children, it can be a thing where maybe you go to school, class 3, class 4, you see a colleague or a fellow student in some really nice sneakers, and and at the end of the day, it's because maybe the parents can't truly provide.
Can't afford,
so inferiority complex is a thing, irrespective
of course,
of age or where you are.
Anyway,
but I think that what you said is very right. But it's about us. Again, it goes back to empowering the children. That yes, maybe your shoe is not pretty, but that last week you actually got 100% in your work. So looking at other things that they can compensate for. That maybe you don't have the best shirt, but I know that in some parts of the world, there are some schools, especially private institutions, who have said, no designer wear. Anything you come in and it's got a label, we'll send it, we'll call your parent in, and then we'll tell them to take it back. And I know that some schools are like that here as well. Don't have a label or cut it off. They'll tell you to cut the label off. Don't bring any bag with any Gucci or Armani or anything. No, you don't. And I think that sets the tone nicely for other kids as well, and I think as parents as well, if you don't have, you need to be able to educate your child, for your child to also understand. I think today I'm talking about myself a bit more because I'm a parent as well. And I remember my daughter went to a school, a boarding school where people had private jets, and I don't have it. But I made her understand that sit in and enjoy yourself.
For context, in the UK.
In the UK, thank you. Sorry. Sorry, and I said to her, mommy hasn't got it, but if they provide it for a birthday party, go sit in, have fun, but it makes them even ambitious that I want to get there too. But the point is that empower the child. That's what I'm saying, empower the child, so they don't become envious or bitter or feel that life will not happen. If it's there, enjoy it. If your friends' parents are bringing nice food and they invite you to eat some. So that in future because it makes the children, because if you don't have anything, in life, we need a level of competition. A level of competition. It's when it's becoming envious and you're comparing, and that's when it's a bit, but at least you need to aspire to something. So I want to be like Jude. I want to be like Eno. There's nothing wrong with that.
Jude mentioned depression, and then in my mind I was thinking, how do you even identify when a child is depressed or anxious? I mean, beyond them going quiet or their grades going down, how else can you identify those things in the stress, anxiety, depression?
I mean, especially if you're a parent, or let's say you're a teacher, because teachers spend lots of time with children. Changes. So it might not be that they're quiet, but you can see changes, their attention, or they have a best friend. Most children have friends at school, or they don't even have any friend at all. Doesn't mean that if a child doesn't have a friend, there's something wrong with them, but you have to study the pattern. this child doesn't play with anybody. When people come near him or whatever, they jump, or they won't share their pens or their crayons, or they won't. And at home as well, their appetite, are they eating well? Are they not? What about their sleep? Are they coming to you saying they're having lots of nightmares, night tremor, and so different things? Just put them together. At least if you have 3, 4, something is not right here. You have to start talking to them, even if they are being cagey and all that. And we're not talking about the other forms of maybe there's some abuse going on. Could be at school or could be at home. Could be bullying at school, actually. Like Jude said, maybe because they don't have those things, people are bullying them and say, oh, look at your shoes, and laughing at their shoes, their clothes, their hair, and that. So watching these things, are they happy when it's like, oh, it's midterm? I'm so happy that it's midterm or it's holidays. Oh, when they're about to go to school and they start having butterflies in their stomach.
Right.
Or every time, oh, I feel sick today. Oh, mommy, can I stay at home? Or, can you not take me to school this week? Or they start saying there's something at school so we can't go, or whatever, it's raining, can I lie down? Then you see that there is a change. So watch out for changes or uncomfortable situations, and this will let you know that something is not right. And if you're not sure, just take them to a doctor or somebody, a specialist, and they'll talk to them. Yeah.
What if they don't talk? What do you do then?
You create a play environment. Because let's say for instance, when I see kids, I'm not going to say, oh, what is wrong with you or something. No.
They'll bottle up.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because then that means you've set them up. So it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to talk to this woman. No. Just say you're going to visit somebody, and then we're just going to have a good time. So maybe if they're very young, you just put toys on the floor, sit with them on the floor. If it's a book, or maybe you're talking to the parent, they say, what's their favorite program? So they tell you what the program is. Oh, did you see the program yesterday? How was it? Then you start talking about it. Then as they're talking about it, you look for one person in there who is quiet, or a behavior that is similar to what you want to discuss. Or a show. Do you watch this program? What do you think of maybe Mary or Amma? Amma is always quiet, isn't she? Do you like that? You say, yeah, I like Amma. So these things will let you pick up on, I think Amma is too quiet. She can talk a bit more, can't she? Because it looks as if because of that, everybody is always treating her badly, isn't it? Say, really? Then they'll start opening up. So you didn't start saying, oh, you're depressed. No. You just take it from a different angle. Oh, did you watch the March Past or whatever, 6th March, whatever? Yeah. Did you see that girl? It looks as if she was just not looking at anybody, or she wasn't smiling at all. Why was she not smiling? Do you think she's tired? The child will end up saying, not everybody is quiet when they are tired.
Yeah.
Then you know.
Yeah.
Then you take it from that. Or you can take them for a walk or to a restaurant. And as you're sitting, you start asking questions. Yeah.
All right, Doc, we didn't even talk about the book that you have.
Yes.
Let's do that briefly. Time.
That's true. Oh, just a minute. So this book, it's just, people ask me about autism, and I'm not a specialist in, but this is a basic book for neurodevelopment, so developmental problems, autism, and it's so basic. It's called Yoku, My Brother. Yoku, My Brother. It's written by an author, as you can see, there's a Gazy there.
Is it a Ghanaian named Yoku?
Yoku. Yeah, someone born on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Kuku and Kweku. Yeah. So it tells you a lot about how a family actually deals with autism. And when I first read it, it's actually written by my sister. And the first time I read it, I cried. Not in a bad way, in a good way, because it gave me an insight into how parents, other siblings. So this is about a sibling and how they are handling autism at home. It's on Amazon if you want it. If you want as well, just send me, go on, TikTok, Dr. Anigazio, or you can contact the studio as well and ask. I brought it here because lots of people are asking me questions. It's very, very basic for a lay person, so it's not a specialty thing. But read this, and honestly, I am sure the feedback you'd give would be great. Fantastic,
right.
Yeah?
All right, Doc, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So grab a copy. You can contact Doc on TikTok, and she'll definitely give you that. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.
Watching DSTV means getting the TV you love. But staying connected means getting something extra.
Stunning.
Extra matches, extra dramas, the best local and the world's biggest. Extra laughter, music, movies, and extra vim.
I love it.
Just stay connected or reconnect and get upgraded to the next higher package at no extra cost. Charlie, we got you. Keep watching. Get more with DSTV.
As the days come and go, there's always shit. Let colleagues explore all the planetary bodies. Our mission is in Uranus to treat hemorrhoids, anal fistula, anal fissure, anal incontinence, hydradenitis suppurativa, using laser ligature for pain-free and speedy recovery. On Uranus Street, Accra, is Main Tuber Hospital and Coloproctology Center. Trust Uranus with us and we will delight you. Visit Main Tuber Hospital today or call us on 0244 581 541.
Feel the energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3.
All I wanted is to be part of a real family. I thought you were kind.
Akole, I offered you money, got you a hotel for a few nights. That was the best I could do.
I wanted little dignity and shelter. I promised I wouldn't speak of that night. I promised I would help around the house. You know, cook, wash, keep quiet, and I met it.
You make it sound so simple.
It was simple until you made it complicated.
Akole pregnant for you? I didn't say she was pregnant for me. All I said was she was pregnant. She said you know who the father of that child is. And we both know what that means.
Any problem?
No, Your Highness.
Good. Then continue your royal duty with gratitude.
Permission to resign.
Denied.
The Blankstons, coming soon on Channel 1 TV.
The vibe is too much.
You're welcome back to Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. We're going into our health conversation. We have Dr. Umkalsum Zakaria Adam, a public health practitioner and specialist maxillofacial surgeon joining us. We're talking constipation. I know this topic would interest a lot of you because we all get constipation once in a while. If you have any questions, do send them to the WhatsApp number 0204-447-033. 0204-447-033. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you, Enu.
I know Jude wants to ask you something.
How is Kolobu doing? I actually didn't have any question for you, but how is Kolobu?
Very well. We are doing well.
Our doctor
How are doctors doing?
We are all doing
well. And the nurses?
We are all fine.
And your ambulance drivers there?
They're also doing fine.
Everybody
is fine.
Everybody's fine.
We thank God.
We thank God. We thank God.
Is it ready? If there's an emergency now, are you ready, Kolobu?
We've always been ready. But the only challenges may be that sometimes there isn't enough bed space to be able to accommodate, but there are protocols that are laid down to go through that, so that any patient who is sent away or any patient who comes in a critical condition at least has some medical care before being redirected.
So that's what you call the triage?
Triaging, yes, it starts with that as well, triaging, where, I mean, you're able to tell who is red, who is yellow, who is whatever, based on the color codes that we do have. And that would help you know which of these patients need maximum attention or need urgent attention compared to others. And you need to at least make sure that these patients are not in very they are not in states that would lead to their death, but then they are stable for them to be able to transport it to whatever, whichever
just
facility.
very briefly on this. Dr. Thomas Anaba, you know, is a former CEO for Orange Hospital. He yesterday said that it is agreed with the way all 3 hospitals, including Korle Bu, handled the case involving, you know, the late Charles Emisa, with regards to your response to the ambulance service when they arrived. Do you agree with him?
Well, I haven't heard what he said specifically. What
he said it was unacceptable.
Exactly. I mean, it is not acceptable to have that done. What it is that, you know, there's a system. The system is that before you even send a patient to a facility, there are channels where you would have to call to be sure that they are ready to receive such a critically ill patient. But certain times, these rules and regulations are breached. So people just walk in, or people just drive into a hospital and they demand that they want to be seen. You get it? So that is where the challenges may be, where sometimes the healthcare professionals who are triaging need to, even if that happens, they need to still be able to have a look at the patient, make sure that the patient is stable and is not in a state that they may end up losing their lives whilst in transit. You get it? Before they send away to other facilities where they can be accommodated. So that has always been the system that needs to be followed. Anytime there is any referral that needs to come to a tertiary institution, these are some of the channels that need to be followed. But sometimes, I mean...
So the ambulance service, as things stand now, don't have a system of verifying which beds are available in what hospital?
No.
So even after the recommendations in the last report?
So it depends. Possibly steps are being put in place to get that done. But what happens is that most of the time, the hospitals are called directly. So you call the hospital will tell you that, okay, according to our bed space currently, we have these so and so number of beds, so you can let the patients come in before you move and then come. And then certain times people don't even call, they just come in. And if you do come in and you come to a facility where all the bed spaces have been occupied, it becomes very difficult to be able to accommodate such cases.
But even in that protocols, yes, in such a situation.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. But even in that state, as I said, you don't have to send or turn away a patient who may end up losing their lives through transit. So you need to stabilize at least. If you need to give a line, you do give a line, start running some infusions, whatever that you need to do to stay. If the patient is bleeding, do something about it. And then safely send the patient to where they can have their care.
What are the challenges you are facing in Korle Bu that would need to be resolved so that we don't keep coming back to this
Well, one of them is, I mean, this whole system where sometimes patients just come in. That's one. Not respecting the protocols that are there already. Calling to ensure that you would have the space. Calling to ensure that, yes, when you do come, the hospital staff would be able to take care of whichever case that you are bringing in. That's one. The other has to do with even the ambulances. I mean, how responsive these ambulances are.
The response rate. In Accra, the ambulance service says that it's 15 minutes even though a lot of people doubt it.
Exactly.
So it should be shorter.
Shorter than that. You should always have drivers on standby.
This is a country where even when we hear the siren, we don't even give them space.
Don't even move. We don't move. So those are some of the challenges. I mean, and it's good that this. I mean, it's not good that it has happened, but then it is going to, yes.
Look, I'll end on this briefly, right? But you're a public health advocate. You do a lot of that.
Yes.
Another public health advocate, in fact, has a PhD in public health, Dr. Ishmael Norman. Yesterday on Big Issue also said that a challenge is also with the kind of health care professionals that we have. He said that some young doctors or new doctors in quotes, are not even well placed to interpret an X-ray, and that is part of the challenge. I don't know what your response would be on that.
Well, I would not agree with that because once you become a house officer, so it's a whole process. You start with school. When you finish, you do become a house officer. When you do become a house officer, you are under training. You're still under training. You do have senior residents, you do have residents ahead of you. So there's always somebody ahead of you to give you the needed help that you need if you have challenges. So that I would not agree with because there's almost all the time somebody ahead of you.
Young Ghanaian doctors are qualified.
Yes.
Okobo says you are qualified and capable to practice anywhere in the world.
Exactly. So it's a whole system. Once you go through house job, after house job, you become a medical officer. Once you become a medical officer, because of the type of training you go through during your house job and you are signed off, I would also agree with the fact that you should be able to, man wherever or whichever hospital where you are posted.
So it's not true young doctors can't interpret X-ray.
It's not true because you will go through the whole process
before you're qualified.
Finally, I want you to watch into the camera and speak to people who feel like healthcare professionals are insensitive, right? They don't give their best and sometimes are indifferent. NO uses the word numb because of all that you see, right? What will be your response to them?
Well, I would say that it's not true. Healthcare professionals are human. Healthcare professionals feel as well. Healthcare professionals almost all the time want to give off their best. They always would want to make sure that they see their patients smiling. And I don't think that healthcare professionals are numb to some extent. When you do see a lot of these deaths over a period, it doesn't make you numb, but it also makes you see the fragility of life. And healthcare professionals are your friends and they are here and they are ready to give up their best so that every patient who comes in with a problem would feel very safe and very, very comfortable to share their problems because they'll leave the hospital smiling and better than they came. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't intend to go that route.
I was about to say Doc for GMA president.
Oh, yeah. I'm interested. I'll support your campaign.
We'll support your campaign from here. Don't worry. We're talking constipation. And now I know that you eat a lot of bread, plenty bread, and you go and sit on the toilet, nothing comes, and then you're forcing yourself. Is that what constipation is?
Yes, so it's part of it.
Okay,
so constipation, basically we have acute and then we have chronic constipation, depending on the duration at which you started having some of these signs and symptoms. And so constipation basically is when you do have, so I'll mention a few signs and symptoms, and if you do have any of these signs and symptoms, about 2 or more of them is considered as constipation. So if you do have hard stools, okay, and these hard stools, anytime you go to the loo, you tend to strain, so straining during that period of defecation, and then inadequate or you not being able to evacuate all the feces at a point in time is another sign. And then the last one being that if you do have any of these happening within a week, let's say when you take a week and you notice that you have any of these signs and symptoms that I have mentioned, you are unable to defecate more than or less than 3 times within the week. If you have any of these that I have mentioned, 2 of them or more, then it's considered as constipation. So hardened stool, straining, inadequate evacuation of your rectum, and then having any of these signs and symptoms, and you are not able to actually defecate for greater than 3 times within a week, that is considered as
3 times within a week?
Yes, 3 times, yes. Some people are not actually able to some people
some people for a whole week they haven't gone.
Exactly, so less than 3 times
that's
a week.
Being constipated?
That's
wow.
Being constipation.
Well,
so those are
it's, you know, so some people I know, it's like my mom and some of my aunties, like when they go to a new environment, they can't use the loo.
Yes, there are people like that.
Yes, unless they come back to their house and use the loo. So for however long that they're there, that's considered constipation?
No, so aside, so if yes, let's say sometimes it does for such people, because they're in a new environment and they try to psych themselves in such a way that, okay, I don't want to use the loo. That's one. So they refuse the urge to defecate.
Okay.
So if you refuse the urge to defecate, that means that whatever waste that's in your large intestine or in your colon will stay longer there. And if it stays longer there, then water, that is where water is reabsorbed from the whole system. So water will be reabsorbed, and means that whatever that is left within the colon or your rectum would be very hardened. And then that can lead to the constipation that they may be facing.
Yeah.
It's also likely that such people would want to stay away from certain foods that tend to help them to it, or that tend to give them that laxative effect. So they will be very careful when it comes to even their water intake. They'll be careful when it comes to the kinds of fruits and vegetables that they do take to help them, just because they've psyched themselves that I'm in a different environment and I do not want to use the loo in such an, because I'm not comfortable. So in that sense, they have certain ordered steps that will lead to the constipation that they may face at that point in time in their lives.
I remember doing a report and going to some parts of the capital, you know, speaking to young people, and they didn't have a toilet facility in their house. So I remember asking one worker there, you know, it's like, oh yeah, but there's a public, you know, but he's not even comfortable using the public, so you go to the office and I was wondering, you know, how are you able to, because there are times you have emergencies.
Yes.
So is it proper, and that you know people keep it so they are able to?
Well, it's not proper, but then as I said, if you refuse the urge to visit the loo, the body will respect it, unless it's an emergency. Exactly. Unless it's an emergency, and that's even the diarrhea. Diarrhea. That does not qualify to be in that. Exactly.
Okay.
You get it. But if you do refuse the urge,
how does your body know that you are refusing the urge? Like, is it the mind?
Psychologically, yes. You just tune off that you are not going to use the loo. Yes.
I'm assuming your diet and your lifestyle will play a part.
Very important.
So what foods are we eating that are making us constipated? Yeah.
So most of the foods, like the white breads, taking these refined foods, the foods that do not contain roughages. So very little fruits and vegetables within the food that you are eating. All of these foods can lead to constipation. So one of the things that roughages and then fruits and vegetables do to help with bowel movement is that it increases the bulk. It increases the bulk of the waste product that is going down there. So that's one. So it increases the bulk. Once you have bulk, it means that when it gets there, even when you are taking in water, that water to soak some water and help to make the stool softer, so that the stool can come out when it has to come out. But if you do have these refined foods, most of them are digested, they become very little, and you don't have that bulk And when it gets to the large intestines too, what happens is that is where you have water being reabsorbed into the whole system. So then whatever that is left within the colon, whatever that is left within the rectum is very, very small, scanty, and then is dehydrated. And that can also lead to the fact that you end up with some constipation. So difficulty in defecation, difficulty because of the hardened stools, and then also yes, so basically those
things
happening. Yes.
Does drinking a lot of water help?
Yes, so drinking a lot of water does help. So it's been shown that at least if you do take some water, at least 2 liters, 3 liters per day, that helps to give you loose stools, or that helps to help you avoid getting into constipation as well. So it's very important that you incorporate some fruits and vegetables in your diet. And the causes of constipation, there are a number of them. So some of them that I would want to mention is that sometimes even certain medications that you are taking can lead to constipation. So certain medications like some opioids or narcotic medications that you are taking for pain can lead to constipation. Some antidepressants medications, some anticholinergics, some even sometimes antihistamines can lead to constipation. Certain times too, aside these medications that do cause constipation, the fruits, the lifestyle modification that we have mentioned, not incorporating them into your regular diet, can also lead to constipation. And there are other underlying conditions that can predispose you to constipation. So other sinister or other more complicated cases. For instance, it's likely that if you are unable to pass stools and you're having constipation, it's likely that there's some mass within your colon or within the rectum. So patients who have risk factor of developing colonic cancers can actually have a sign and a symptom of constipation as one of the first things that you may end up having. So if you do have certain masses, if you do have certain hernia within, or you do have something we call volvulus, all of these are structural problems or anomalies related to the large intestine that can predispose you to getting constipation. And that's for these conditions, you should have very high index of suspicion, and maybe that would be the first sign that you may actually discover, to be able to know that you have other things happening within the system. It could also be that in people who are diabetic, because of the nephropathies that they do, the neuropathies that they do have, it tends to reduce the peristaltic effect of the GIT. So then you end up with some constipation as well. Sometimes electrolyte imbalances. So these, when you do have something we call low potassium levels, or when you do have high calcium levels within the system, that can also affect the muscle tone and then lead to reduced peristalsis, and then you end up with constipation as
There's
well.
a question here for you, Doc. Oh, finish.
Okay, and then certain like hypothyroidism, when you have low thyroid hormone levels, or you have hyperparathyroidism, all of these are some of the endocrine causes of constipation. Yes.
So the question is asking if constipation can cause hemorrhoids.
Yes. So, because remember my definition from beginning, I mentioned that you have hard stools. So then when you go and visit the loo, what happens? Straining. So if you are straining, it means that you are going to cause with increased intra-abdominal pressures. So it doesn't even only cause hemorrhoids, but because of increased intra-abdominal pressures. But then also sometimes you may end up with certain hernia. Hernia is also happening due to the constipation, because you are going to strain. So if you do strain, then that will lead to, so if you have any weakness in any of the abdominal walls or any part, then you can have protrusion of those internal organs out of where they are supposed to be. And that can
Does coffee help, or is it a myth?
Yes, coffee does help actually. So coffee helps with actually increasing the muscle tone, so that you can end up what's the name? Having some loose too. So it does help. So it's like a laxative of some sort. So that can actually bring us to some of the medical management that you can have when it comes to constipation. So when it comes to constipation, the aside your lifestyle modification, taking in a lot of water, or taking enough water, taking fruits and vegetables, the medical aspect of it would be that you can have some laxative that you can take. So like some osmotic laxative. An instance is lactulose, where you be taking that, and that would help you so that it would draw water. Instead of absorbing water, it would draw water more towards the stool so that it can come out. Others could also be that you can have some stimulant laxatives, where an example is like Bisacodyl or Dulcolax. So that would help with the peristaltic movement of the GIT, so that you can actually end up having or expelling the waste product, and then it also helps to reduce constipation. And then the other treatment modalities aside the lifestyle modification and then the medical management would have to do with what the underlying problem. So I mentioned if it is a tumor that is in there, that is structural. So it means that tumor, you need to have some investigation like colonoscopy to be able to diagnose it. Once it is diagnosed, whatever that is there, if it needs to be resected, is resected, and that takes care of the constipation that is there. It could also be that you need to check for your electrolytes. If your electrolytes are lower, it needs to be corrected. And then other times too would be that if you do have diabetes, which is causing those neuropathies, then you need to have that corrected as well. So once that is corrected, so the underlying condition needs to be treated to be able to take care of the constipation that comes with it. Aside the regular that we have mentioned, which would be your lifestyle modification, and then some of these laxatives that you can take as medical management.
Which specific groups of people does constipation normally affect?
So it
I know when people are pregnant.
Yeah, so it can affect a pregnant person because of the gravid uterus having to reduce the peristaltic effects of on the GIT. Yes, it affects. So it affects almost every group. Every age, even babies. And even babies, if it does happen to them, then you need to look at other things. Is it a congenital anomaly that is there, that is causing them not to actually pass to? Is there any stenosis of some sort? Is it that so there are so many things to think about depending on the age range that this patient will present with, and also some of the other signs and symptoms. Some of them may present with not only constipation, but they'll present with the fact that now I have unexplained weight loss. That is not intended. Right. So if that is happening, then you'll be leaning more towards, okay, is it likely that this patient may have some tumor or cancer in there that is causing that? Some may come with blood in stool, aside the constipation that they have, but anytime they have blood, that would also help you to put the patient in a particular category. Some may also present with the fact that aside the blood, I've been vomiting. So that would also tell you that, okay, maybe there's something obstructing. So it is not allowing the downward movement. It's also causing the buildup of whatever that you're taking. And then now you end up, because it's not going down, has to find its way up. So you would have to look at other signs and symptoms that they present with the constipation, and then you would be able to diagnose appropriately and give the appropriate treatment for such patients.
Doc, so in the instance that someone is constipated, what should be the first thing, or how do you properly use the toilets? Because you said if you strain, you might get hemorrhoids and all the complications associated with it. What's the first thing that you should do when you finally go and sit on that toilet and try and push?
Okay, so the first thing that you do is that, first of all, you need to be able to tell. So let's look at it as regular constipation and not anything else. Okay, so if it's regular constipation, the first thing is you need to do some diet modification.
Okay.
So your diet modification, you need to take in some fruits and vegetables that would help increase the bulk of the stool.
Which ones are those?
So something like so almost all the fruits and vegetables that we have. So if you have pears, you have plums, you have, or maybe I'm mentioning a lot of exotic.
I was about to say plums, no?
But there's some
we're not saying they're not, but you know, let's you get it. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down.
Even
doesn't work.
contumely works.
Contumely.
Even oranges.
Oranges.
Okay, oranges would have a lot of roughage in there, so you need to take some quantities of these.
Okay,
that's one. After taking that, you need to also take a lot of water. Okay, so once you take that as well, so it helps to, all of these would help increase the bulk of the stool, will help retain some water within the stool itself, and then so that when you go sit on that toilet, you would be able to defecate without any strain. You get it? So that is the first thing that you would want to do. If you do this and it doesn't work, then it means that you need to have some medical management. So the medical management would be, as I mentioned, so you can have some of these medications. So if you take the lactulose medication, which is prescribed, then that would also help you. It would do actually the same thing that the roughages would have done to help attract water into the stool, so that you can easily pass the stool, or the Ducolas, which will help with the peristalsis as well. So some of these things are some of the things that you can actually do to help you.
I read somewhere that if you're struggling and you blow from your mouth like you're blowing into a balloon, it helps, you know.
So if you're blowing into a balloon, it's just increasing the abdominal pressures. If it increases the abdominal pressures, then it may help in a way with the peristalsis.
Okay.
So that you can actually defecate. Yes.
But
then basically you should be able to use some of these things that I have mentioned.
Says, good morning, nice work, God bless you. I've had constipation since I was 5 years and now I am 24. It's really disturbing and the piles is also really uncomfortable. I never thought of going to the hospital, but now I think I must.
Yes, yes, definitely, please do. I'm glad that you have listened, and yes, you should go, because some of these complications that you have out of it may become worse. So the earlier you do go, the better, so that these complications are taken care of, so that you don't end up complicating even the hemorrhoids that you do have as of now. And then you'll be giving some advice based on what that tailors towards that particular patient or yourself, so that it helps with your lifestyle.
Time is up,
and then
but I wanted to know what daily habits we can adopt to prevent us from being constipated.
So even exercising,
especially for some of us who like bread.
Physical exercise, you know, and anytime you are eating all of these refined foods, please make sure that you have portions or large portions of fruits and vegetables, so that when it goes in there, as you said, you like a lot of bread, so when it goes in there, at least you still do have some roughage in there. That will help with absorption of water, it will help retention of water, and then it can prevent the constipation that you may end up with. And so anytime making sure that you're drinking a lot of water, 2 liters to 3 liters, fruits and vegetables in your meals. Physical activity, very important. Physical activity, it helps with increasing the blood supply to the gut, and then that will also help with its movements. And then sometimes even when you wake up early in the morning, just taking a glass of water, a glass or 2 of water, that also helps with something we call gastrocolic reflex. So then it helps with that initial reflex, so that there will be some contractions to help expel whatever that is within or whatever waste that you have within the colon or within the rectum, so that you don't end up with constipation. Because you see, the longer these waste products stay within the large intestines, it means that what the large intestine does is that it draws water. That's where there's reabsorption. So the longer it is there, it means that more water will be reabsorbed from it, and you end up with very hard stool or dry stool. So you need to be able to, and then don't fight the edge when it comes.
Right.
Do go and then make sure that you get it out of the system.
Don't fight the edge. It's a very important advice, right? You know, sometimes it's just the public spaces we have. It is not conducive for, you know, so rather just, you know, you can see a nice hotel. I don't want to talk about, like, you know, government public spaces, the Supreme Court. Hey, you know, I thought, oh, the Supreme Court.
Really?
You know, and if you're not lucky and you go to one in a stadium, trouble. Doc, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insights as always.
Thank you,
know, for explaining it to us. We've learned a thing or two, and we'll keep it in our minds. All right, so guys, moving on from the conversation on constipation. Of course, we started with some other challenges in the health sector, you know, with regards to the lack of space. Well, it's not only in the health sector. In Wejagbawe, students are also not happy about the overcrowding levels in their classroom. They say it's making teaching and learning difficult for them.
One of the schools that is heavily populated is the New Gbawe Community JHS, which is part of the Gbawe cluster of schools. Instead of the ideal number of 30 students per class, some of the classrooms have over 60, and in some instances, even more. With limited desks, students are forced to sit in 3s and 4s on dual desks, a situation described by students as uncomfortable.
Our class is a bit crowded and we don't have enough desks to sit on, so we usually have to hedge by classmates who brought desks to school.
Desks that's supposed to accommodate only 2 at least. You can have 4 people sitting on it. So you want to learn and then your hand hits somebody, you can't learn well. It really dampens our academics, because one of the key ways to actually pass your BEC and exams is a proper arrangement of your materials.
School heads say the overpopulation and non-availability of enough desks remain a key impediment to effective teaching and learning. But there is no option, since every child deserves access to education.
At the normal schools, we should have at least 40 learners in a class. But as I speak now, in my school, we are having around 60. So you can say they are overcrowded. But who knows? Can we drive them away? No. They also have to enjoy. They need education. So we are giving them. So we are trying our best. All that we can do is to give them education.
To help lessen the burden of the New Gbawe Community School, a group made up of some women who are residents of the area has donated 100 dual desks and other materials to the school.
The banking institutions and to private schools that are really endowed and are affluent and can really help, to even individuals, philanthropists, the church, for example. I think we can all do something to help out, because government on its own cannot do all that we need. We need to also help out.
While the Municipal Directorate of Education appreciates this gesture, it says much needs to be done. The Municipal Director, Charles Odum, told Channel One News the 30 public schools in the municipality do not correlate with growing demand. Some children travel about 5 kilometers and sometimes to other municipalities to access education. Children whose parents can't afford private education enroll beyond the GES's approved age of 5, causing delay in their cognitive skills development.
If you come to our public schools, you see that enrollment in KG1, KG2, P1, P2 are relatively low. Because those children, 4 years, 5 years, they can't walk a longer distance to school. So it affects their early development. Because they have to come to school at the right age before we can actually work on them.
While authorities have expressed interest in establishing new schools to expand access, land availability remains a challenge. Traditional leaders have therefore been implored to reserve lands for that purpose.
For our own existence, we need to make room for land so that Assembly can come, MP can come and support with school building.
For the Channel One newsroom, I am Akwesi Ado, Gbawe, Greater Accra.
Welcome back. So, Wojagbawe, it's some relief for students there as decks have been provided to them to aid their learning in their classrooms. Our correspondent, Akwesi Ado, joins us. Akwesi, good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning, Jude and Eno.
Good morning.
Yeah. So, I guess students, they are happy now. How many of these students benefited from the donation?
So this is just one out of the many schools in Weija that benefited from the donation of the desk, and this is the Bawe Community JHS. So it means that the rest of the schools, even at the Bawe cluster, are still struggling with the shortage in dual desks and other amenities to ensure effective teaching and learning in the school.
Can you give us estimates, right? So how many pupils were struggling with this issue, and how much does this go to address the problem?
It's really difficult to give an estimate, but let me say that several hundreds of students, because if you take the community JHS, for instance, just a single classroom has over 70 pupils. In some cases, it's even more than 70. And this is just for the New Bawe Community JHS. So you can imagine how the situation is in the other schools across the municipality. Now, the entire Weija Bawe municipality has 30 public schools. And according to the Municipal Directors of Education, these 30 public schools are not enough for the growing demand. There are some communities that still do not have public schools. In recent times, some of these schools, like the Bawe cluster of schools, and then I know that a school around the Ablikuma area saw massive expansion. There's another school in Weija that also saw a massive expansion, and then a new school was also established in Gonse. But even after this huge intervention, there's still growing demand for access. So if you take a community like SCC, Tetegu, Broadcasting, there are no public schools in this area. So what that means is that those children from the communities may have to travel from these communities to either Oblogo, Weija, Bawe, or some of them may have to go to other municipalities. Some attend school in English Yamanfrom. Some also do even go as far as Kaswa before they are able to access basic education. And all these areas that I've mentioned are heavily populated areas with growing demand for educational infrastructure. So even children from those municipalities are struggling with access. And then having children from other municipalities also, competing for access, it means that definitely these schools are completely overwhelmed.
Interesting. So have we heard from the Ghana Education Service Directorate in the municipality, and are they working to address the other shortfalls in schools in the area?
The directorate finds this a very huge challenge. So just as I indicated earlier on, in recent years, there were some massive interventions from government where some schools saw some sort of expansion. But just as I also indicated, there are still communities without basic schools. So these children from these communities are traveling sometimes to as far as 5 kilometers to get access to education. There are dangers, there are risks involved. So for parents who can't afford private education for their wards, it means that their children may have to wait until they are beyond 6, or if they are fortunate enough to have an elder sibling who can carry them to school, then they would enroll early. Either than that, they would have to wait until they attain the age of 6 or 7 before they are enrolled. And we know that the GES's ideal age for enrollment starts at 5. By age 5, the child should already be in school. So when the children enroll late, it means that it's going to delay their learning process. They are not prepared adequately, right? And so it's really a challenge. And according to the GES director, it slows down academic process because the children are not able to, develop early as expected. And in the schools where overcrowding persists, what it means is that there is low supervision. Teachers are not able to supervise properly. In fact, there are some of the classrooms where the teacher would not even have a space to place his desk. It becomes difficult for the teacher to move freely in the classroom because the desks have been piled up. They have not been arranged. They've just been piled up to ensure that every child is able to find space in the classroom. So in such instance, when the teacher gives out an exercise, it even becomes difficult for him to go around to check whether every student is participating or otherwise. And we know that this does not augur well for the effective teaching and learning processes. It is the reason the GES is asking that additional infrastructure should be looked at. But the Wejagwe municipality is also an already developed area. Land availability has been a very big issue. Even recently, the Municipal Assembly announced that it was putting measures in place to ensure that existing schools are fenced because people were encroaching on school lands. So it's even difficult for the Municipal Assembly to secure land to establish new schools in the municipality.
Thank you for your time, Akwesi Ado, and keep following the story as it develops so you can share with us if there are any other updates. And thankfully,
there's a message here that's saying that Bawejak Bawe is round the corner from the seat of government.
Yeah. I mean, it's close, right? I was going to say that thankfully it's not a school under tree situation, right? So, but of course, we know how lack of space can affect learning outcomes. So it's important that we provide them the necessary, amenities they would need to be able to learn and pass very well. So I'm glad that a private group has, moved to their aid to support their work. But going forward, we expect that, of course, the Ghana Education Service, the Ministry of Education, would work to address these concerns, right? Because we know that there should be like trend analysis of how many students are coming into these schools year on year, the space available, and make the requisite provision so that if groups have money to support schools, they can use it for other pressing areas as well.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Kumasi, and I think I went around with the GES as well as the regional minister at the time, and we went for my first day of school, where they visit schools, especially the nursery schools who have just entered their first year of education, and some of the schools that we'd go to, it's just heartbreaking. Some of the children, yes, and I love the fact that regardless of what they had, no shoes, slippers, some sandal with the straps broken, they'd still come to school and they'd be enthusiastic. I was looking at pictures on my Snap, and I was like, wow. So, hopefully now I can't even recall the names of those schools, but hopefully those schools now have some form of proper structure there where they can learn. And so, yeah.
Wow. And we've been joined by Gloria Mankwashi.
She's an opinion leader.
Yeah, and also part of the group that supported the school.
Right.
I want to believe. Gloria, thank you very much and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Okay, thank you so much.
Amazing. What informed your decision to support the schools? Right. We know that you've moved into their aid, provided them desks and other, materials they'll need in the school. What informed your decision?
Yeah, like I said, We were celebrating our 5th anniversary Royalista Ladies Club, and we decided to do our 3rd social responsibility. So this time around, we decided not to go further than our own home here, because they say charity begins at home. So we went to the cluster of schools, which is so close to where we do our meetings. And when we had a chat with the Newbury community, JSS 1 and 2, even once we went there to have a chat with them to see if we could help out, we could see with our own naked eyes that the kids were sitting, sometimes 4 on dual desk. One dual desk would sit about 4 students. And we thought the classrooms were overcrowded. And they needed, clocks to even tell the time. And they needed ceiling fans because the place is overcrowded. They need ceiling fans so that it will help out. So we decided to donate to them desk so that they will have enough desk in the school so that the children will feel comfortable.
What was the feeling like, and also the feedback when you donated these items to the students in the school?
The whole community, everybody, the kids, the minors, and all of them, the MPs, the MCs, opinion leaders, everybody, everyone is so happy about what we have donated to the school.
Interesting. What should you expect going forward, right? Is this a one-time thing, or you be minded about the school's development? I was speaking to our correspondent, Akwesiado, and he said that this is a challenge that is very common in the municipality. What is your group's plan for the area, if any?
We are not going to say that this is going to be a 9-day wonder, something that we're going to do it once and for all. No. Anytime we feel like we want to help out, we'll go to the schools and then we'll look around. After all, there's not just one school there. There are about 7 schools that are clustered there. And a lot of them are also suffering from the same fate. In fact, where we went to, that school is even better equipped than the other schools that are there. So we foresee that there's a lot of work ahead of us. And so we'll do a lot. If the Lord blesses us with what will take us to do those things. But we are also saying that we can do this much. We cannot do a lot. We can do what we can as civil society, as a club. We can do just a little, and what we can, we'll do our best. We'll do it. But the government should also come in to provide a lot more of the basic needs, so that children and school teachers will also find comfort while they teach and learn there. There should be conducive atmosphere, conducive environment where children can learn and teachers can also teach. And for me, past, present, and even the current government, they do more for ministers, and then they do more for the MPs without paying much attention to these school children and their teachers. I think teachers' salaries must be, they must be motivated well. Teachers, they must also have incentives like back pays and sometimes even Christmas bonuses, so that they will be motivated. And then the civil society, the people that are here, the schools, the affluent schools that are here in our neighborhood, they can also help. The banks, the chiefs, the queens, even the churches and mosques, they can all help. And then the filling stations and all, the traders and all, they must all come in. And even the residents, all from our municipality, everyone must come. We say all hands on deck. Even residents, general residents, volunteers, like even pensioners who are active, they can all come in, help go to the school. If there are anything that they can help out with, they can also do something to make sure that children are also doing well there.
Thank you for your dedicated service to the pupils in Wejagbawe, and of course we are also grateful for your leadership. You heard there Gloria Mankwa, who is an opinion leader, and also with a group that has donated to students there. I think good news, right?
Good news.
We pray for more
of such benevolence.
Exactly. You used the right word I was looking for, but the benevolence of groups of individuals, and I feel like that people can do some in their own capacity, right? So let's support, because just that little donation will go a long way to be a big blessing to one child, right? And you have no idea where that person can reach, in terms of, or you might know the person who has the HIV cure is somewhere sitting in the classroom. So let's be minded to give back to society.
Yeah.
There's a popular quote we say that ask not what your nation can do for you, right? But what are you also doing for your nation? And what are you doing for your nation?
I'm sitting here on Sunday.
So,
putting questions to people.
It's a big thing,
Yeah.
And telling the stories
telling the stories and empowering change.
You're a big woman.
We are telling stories and we're empowering change.
You are a big
that is what
woman.
we are giving to our society.
And on that note, to take a quick break when we're back, there's a lot more right here on Sunday Breakfast. Don't go away.
On DSTV, a fresh face alongside a host of new personal and professional troubles await the crew at Firehouse 51.
The city needs a leader like you.
The Skinwalker team return to investigate even more unexplained paranormal phenomena around the U.S.
They can see these portals.
And a doctor and a mystic join forces to help the vulnerable.
I am completely prepared to follow your orders today.
Stay connected to the unmissable on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
We are gearing up for the trip of a lifetime. Heritage Caravan 2026. From 1st to 8th March 2026, 8 days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We're touring Ghana in the most spectacular way on the Heritage Caravan, exploring the beauty, history, and stories that make our nation unique. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2026 will be fun, educative, refreshing, and most of all, remarkable. Stay connected. Follow Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM across all social media platforms for updates, and join the conversation using the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2026. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from City FM.
And it's proudly sponsored by Holland Insurance, Piva Beverages, Omni Basic Bank, Caveman Watches, Gino, Gigi Shito, Goyle, Minimi Achumo, and Admi Granite Paste. And it's supported by Nanas Rice.
Heritage Caravan 2026, experience Ghana like never before.
Welcome to the Health Quarters Ghana, where medical science meets everyday life. Join Dr. Gideon Asen and the irrepressible Clemento Suarez as they tackle health issues.
My name is Dr. Gideon Asan. I have with me here my co-host Clemento Suarez. I knew how it felt anytime I started to feel the pain.
Whether it is hernia, breast cancer, cataracts, or infertility, the show brings together victims to share their real life stories and experts to debunk myths.
If you wear cotton supporter, when they wear pampers and a benua or balsam. So you see, instead of it being raw egg, I done it because you know.
Make a date with us every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Channel 1 TV. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and all social media platforms at Health Quarters Ghana.
This week on the Upside Down Show, Frima Edunyame sits with the bold and outspoken Dr. Stephen Amwa, MP for Inshayeso.
But Honorable, how do you deal with controversies? Because every now and then, sticker is, permit me, impotent, because even on a campaign trail, we brought him one of the loyal ladies, but he couldn't do anything with the person.
Whether I'm impotent or not impotent, it doesn't mean anything.
But are you?
Of course not.
Okay.
God loves me.
If it doesn't go the Kennedy way, who among the 5 would you want to see become the flag bearer?
Anybody that can let me know that would give MPP the highest chance of winning 2020.
Feel the rhythm as Carlo Yaboy delivers a soul-stirring performance.
I don't feel like it, I see I try, but I don't know what to do. Anytime you call me, you know I slide. I keep spending my life on you. You say get too much about my pride. You don't know half about what I do. You say get too much about mine.
And watch creativity come alive with Audrey Bruce Vanderpoy.
I don't know be there. No.
Don't miss the Upside Down Show this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt only on Channel 1 TV. Feel the energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. It's now time for our nutrition segment, and there's a lot going on already, Charlie. And this year, Insia is our guest. A dietitian runs this year consult. There's so many things on the side as well. And I welcome to the show. What's going on? This is your butcher's knife.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable right next to it. What's happening today?
So today we're talking about coconut water in particular, how a diabetic can consume coconut water, how best to enjoy coconut water. So you see the butcher's knife just to crack my coconut early morning. So don't worry. Before we start, I want to soak chia seed. So I'm taking 2 teaspoons. This is about 100 ml water. I'm soaking it so that at the right time I add my coconut water. Okay. I would have preferred soaking it with the coconut water, but because I don't want to break it now, I want to soak it. Chia seed is best when soaked, okay, so that the nutrients will be available. Okay, so coconut water, as we all know, is very nutritious. Nature's best beverage for humanity, enjoyed, and for also immune boosting as well. For a diabetic, coconut water, though sweet, is it good? As most often when they come for consultation, this comes up: can I eat coconut? Can I drink coconut water? Can I eat the meats as well? So it is important to highlight on how best to drink the coconut water. Coconut water is very beneficial for everyone, and for a diabetic too. The magnesium and potassium in coconut water makes the or creates insulin sensitivity. The cells become sensitive to insulin, and that is very important for a diabetic, because when the cells are sensitive to insulin, it will encourage the uptake of the blood glucose, so that it will help reduce the blood glucose level. Okay, so that makes coconut water very important for a diabetic. It has a very low glycemic index of 51, so it is a good drink for a diabetic as well. But because we have always been encouraging diabetics not to, even for healthy individuals, not to enjoy naked sugar or naked carbohydrates. We want to illustrate the best way to enjoy the coconut water. If you don't add anything to it, then that is naked carbohydrates. Okay, but if you add the right stuff to it and drink it at the right time, you will enjoy the maximum impact of coconut of the coconut water for your body. And the coconut meat, is it also beneficial for the diabetic? Yes, but coconut meat is very fatty. Okay, so when you are enjoying it, you have to be very careful, because the diabetic is at risk already. So if you, normally when we buy it, they divide it into 3 for us to enjoy the meat. Sometimes they divide it into 2. When it's big, they do 3. You can take 1, either half of it or 1/3 when it's very big. That is the meat I'm talking about. Okay, then coming back to the coconut water. The coconut water is very sweet, especially when the coconut has matured. Okay, but when it is not so matured, you know, when you are going to buy, they ask you, how do you want it? Do you want it insuo or insuo ni aduane? Okay, if it is insuo, then it means the coconut is young, so it doesn't have a lot of meat. It has more water. That is preferred. That is normally not sweet, but with the matured one, you enjoy the sweetness more. Okay, that is also not so good for the diabetic. Okay, so to emphasize again, when a diabetic is going to buy coconuts, ask for the one with more water, insuo nkwa, not insuo ni aduane. Okay, then we come back to the freshness. We will prefer fresh coconuts, not canned coconuts. You know, we have the canned one, we even have the bottled one. We cannot trust. The canned one, of course, has been preserved with sugar, added sugar. Okay, sometimes even the bottled one, you can taste sugar. They will tell you they haven't added any sugar, but you know you can really taste sugar. Okay, so for a diabetic, you have to be very, very deliberate to get the best of whatever you are going to put in your body, so that you don't increase your sugar level. Okay, so that you can have it well controlled. So whatever you are eating, even when it has been tagged as good, you have to go for the very natural one. So go for your coconuts and ensure that you break it, or they break it in front of you, put it in your bottle and take it home. Then chia seed. Chia seed also has omega-3 fatty acid and lots of nutrients as well. It is very rich in fiber. A tablespoon of chia seed is giving you about 9 to 10 grams of fiber. That is so rich in fiber. Fiber is very important for the diabetic because it helps slow down the absorption of glucose. And that is very good for the diabetic. Whatever property that helps slow down the absorption of glucose doesn't mean the glucose or you will not have a spike, a sharp increase of your blood glucose level, which is very, very good. The same way, the potassium and other minerals in chia seed will help increase the insulin sensitivity further.
Okay.
That is giving you another plus. Potassium in coconut water and potassium in chia seed. It becomes a big deal for a diabetic to want to take it, okay? Because the uptake of the blood glucose is going to be enhanced, okay? Then also, chia seed, yes, this.
Why do we soak it?
We soak it to make all these nutrients bioavailable.
Okay.
Available in your system.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So soaking it is very important. Some people soak it overnight. You don't need overnight. So when we started, I assume I would talk for about 20 minutes. So by 20 minutes, it is ready.
Okay.
Okay. So the maximum is 30 minutes of time. So if you know you are going to drink your coconut water with chia seed, even before you peel and break,
you have soaked it.
Yes, okay. And it's ready. Okay, so the chia seed is very important. Also fiber for the diabetic is very, very important. So when a diabetic is eating, he's asking himself, is there protein in the food? Is there good fats in the food? Is there fiber? That is, of course, for energy, we always go for more carbohydrates. But the addition, the fiber, the protein, the fat. So the chia seed is going to give you the high protein in the drink you are going to take. It's going to give you rich fiber, and it's also going to give you the good fats you need for your heart. And because the diabetic is at risk of heart disease or cardiovascular disease, having the chia seed is good, so that you protect yourself against it. Okay. Normally we say diabetes, high cholesterol, hypertension are triplets who love themselves. So when you get one and you don't guard yourself against the two, he will easily go and call the other two. Okay. So guarding yourself against the two, and the chia seed will guard against this two for you.
Okay.
So it's very, very important. So chia seed is there. I love chia seed. Doctor just left and she spoke about constipation. Having chia seed with coconut water before you go to bed or first thing in the morning. Let's say your first thing in the morning will mean about an hour before you visit the loo. Try it in the house and send me the feedback. You will know that you move your bowels easily, okay? Because chia seed and coconut water aid digestion.
Right.
Chia seed also does same.
Okay.
And when you move around a little after taking it, it will help you move your bowels. Then coconut water is foreign. Chia seed is foreign. Coconut water is local. Granite is local. People say chia seed is expensive. I say it's not expensive. Looking at the benefits, the vast benefits. But in case you cannot afford, okay. Granite will also give you the good fats. Granite will give you the enhanced protein. Granite will give you some amount of fiber. So you can either drink your coconut water with the nuts or the seed. Okay. Ideally, or most importantly, do not drink plain coconut water as diabetic. And the best time to drink it is in the morning, so that you stabilize your sugar level for the day. Okay, you set the tone for the day. Okay, coconut water with chia seed or nuts first thing in the morning is very good for controlled sugar level throughout the day. Okay, so as we have discussed, we are breaking this.
You know.
How much should I pour?
In Nima, did you by any chance
sell coconuts?
Did you by any chance? It's not a fair question.
It actually is. She just cracked. Oh wow.
Oh, you have experience that we don't know. Oh, it's 37. Don't mind.
That's okay. I mean, that's a good question that I'll answer someday.
Oh, no, there's
our
story. Wow. Okay. Coconut water, though very healthy, a diabetic should drink with moderation. Okay. So the maximum for a diabetic is 150 ml. Normally, one coconut water should give around 200, 250. Even for a healthy person, the maximum should be 500. And I always say, don't go for the maximum. Go, stay within, don't hit the ceiling. So when you go to the coconut vendor and people are doing 1 liter, 2 liter, because it is good, that same coconut will bring you other diseases if you abuse it. So let's stay within the range. So let's say this one will give me 150, and let me put the remaining here. So you are either taking it this way or that way as a diabetic. So for us, it's very... So don't drink it. And you know, as I said, because it is best drunk in the morning, before you get home, get your coconut water, go and put it in your fridge. Better still, if you are like...
So it's a substitute for water?
First thing morning, substitute is very great. Get lemon. I left my lemon. Get lemon, add it to it. Lemon will give you the vitamin C that will enhance absorption.
And now what business does lemon have in coconut water?
Oh my God.
I know, right? But to be fair, people drink like soda and add lemon to it. I don't know. They say, when they drink it, they feel nauseous or they are more so normal.
Yeah,
so they add it. And
so maybe you shouldn't be drinking it.
Soda.
To be fair, I like my soda with lemon.
Soda can be very poisonous, you see. Everything sugar concentrated, the artificial sugar concentrated. So for the diabetic, unless you've gone hypo, that the doctor or your dietitian will ask you to look for sugar or any toffee or any raw sugar around. See sugar as a poison for your system as diabetic. So today our emphasis is on no naked coconut water for a diabetic for the best benefit, maximum benefit. Either drink your coconut water with chia seed.
I'm not drink the chia seed one.
I knew you were going to say that.
You guys solve the position.
And then
I knew you were going to say that.
And then
but we'll taste both. So
with the chia seed or with coconut or with granules, yes. But coconut is very good. I want to emphasize on the quantity. Maximum is 150. If you cannot measure, you are in town.
So you you deliberately remove the
husk. The husk.
Around the granules.
Yes.
But can you keep the husk on?
If you did it at home and it wasn't salted, then you can add the husk. This one I bought it was salted, so to reduce it, I just removed.
And the coconut water will be obviously more than this. It's just because you don't have many, that's why you add this. Or this is the...
For you, who might not be diabetic, then this is too small. You need about, this glass is 300 ml. So if you are looking for 250 ml, maybe somewhere here, so you need about double this quantity of coconut water. But for a diabetic, then this quantity, this is about 150 ml. This is enough for you for the whole day.
It doesn't look like something that can be a substitute for water. It looks like an add-on. You know, maybe you just want to be healthy and drinking this. But it's interesting that it does a lot for your body.
You know, food I say is more than medicine. Okay, so especially whatever you take first thing in the morning on an empty stomach should be deliberately put together to nourish your body for the day. So for a diabetic or even for a healthy person, normally we use these words, but that doesn't mean a diabetic is not healthy. Okay, but for a person without any health condition, known health condition, sometimes they have but they don't even know. Okay, good. For such a person with no known condition, then having the 250 ml early morning, and I will still add chia seed because I want to protect my heart and build a stronger immunity for life. So having chia seed with coconut water first thing in the morning is very good.
Can I add
Give yourself... Oh no.
It's too much.
Yes, because this is dense. The chia seeds is dense with nutrients.
Use small portions each?
Okay, so if you're adding, like some people add chia seed and flax seed. So you use half the quantity of chia seed and half of flax. Or if you want granules with chia seed, use half. But that I haven't tried.
How about so maybe morning I do this, evening I do this?
Good, super. Okay, so morning, bedtime. This water, bedtime is also good. But because you are supposed to take only 150 ml for the whole day, when you use this with coconut water in the morning to increase the insulin sensitivity even for the day, that's okay. Bedtime, for a good FBS, you still would want to use the chia seed, but this time with maybe bitter cocoa beverage, not our cocoa beverage that is sweetened.
That's one.
The natural one with your chia seed. It's nice,
bitter,
but it's nice.
Wow. Can I drink it?
Leave me some more. I want to taste that one.
Chew it. It's nice. It might not be like soda, but it's nice. The look on your face, it's good.
You're bad, sir.
If I had brought lemon, you would have enjoyed the taste, the flavor better. Yeah.
So lemon is just to add flavor to it.
No, and also more nutrients. The vitamin C in there is very good. It's for absorption as well. Oh, try it. Try this. Try this.
Why are you running away from it? He took a sip.
No,
oh my God.
No, for real. You know, it tastes like.
Wow.
I like the.
Jude has an addiction to sugar, by the way.
No, not quite.
Yes, you do.
I like it. I like it.
So, would you want to taste it again? Try it again. This time, you don't take a sip. Ah, that's good.
I see people use chassis to fry egg. Is it good?
Ah. How can you do that? They sprinkle it on the egg?
Yes, on fried egg.
On fried egg? No.
It's too much.
You see, I don't know why you would do that, but to get the best benefits, there's so much fat in here already. The egg, I don't even know how you fried it, so I will not encourage. Yes, fair enough. The quality of that oil might even destroy the good fat you are getting from chia seed. If you are using it in your beverages like this, on your oats, your Greek yogurt, your other porridges, good. But even your smoothies.
It's interesting to talk about Greek yogurt because a colleague in the newsroom, Charles, was saying to me that it is used to grow lean muscles rather than build muscles. I don't know what he was talking about because I read something else. I don't know if you can help us with the nutritional value.
Yeah, I'm doing Greek yogurt, I think, end of March.
You treat it on the show?
Yes, yes.
Can you make some at home?
Yes, I do. I have Greek yogurt.
That you make yourself?
I think if Anna was in this world alone, manufacturers
FMCG is funny in the round losses.
I tell you.
Wow. Anna, I like this. I like this. I like this.
I'm happy. I'm happy you like it.
I like this. I'll try it at home. And I'm really very serious.
Oh, I'm happy.
Without sugar.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Promise.
I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
You see, when you dare to take these things with time, you acquire it. So it is for you to dare to take it, and you realize that it is very good. And give this to the person struggling with constipation, as doctor said.
They're fine.
And you are good to go. Either last thing in the night or first in the morning. This is because it is very rich in fiber.
Amazing.
Yes.
And always a pleasure, right? Where can we find your diet clinic, right? Desia Consult. People keep asking me actually.
So Desia Consult is at Critical Care, Bema Camp area. And the dietitian's kitchen is at 37 Military Hospital of Sesmes. And then we are also online, the dietitian in the kitchen. By next week, we will have the dietitian herself.
Hey.
Okay. So
yeah, scaling up. Motion here. Oh, Charlie. Wow.
I have to listen to you.
Wow. Yeah. So that's amazing. So you offer consultancy, you actually cook for people as well?
Yes.
On a demand basis?
Yes. We do that most of the time when they come for consultation. You talk. Where can we find this? Where can we find
So at the end of the day, you want to make it ready for them.
Yes.
So the Swia kitchen is not like, it's not a walk-in. I can't walk in and come in.
You can walk in and get some limited stuff, but most of them are pre-ordered. So we have the healthy regular, where you can still eat your fufu healthy regular, where you can still eat your bangkun.
So the Swia kitchen has like a dining kind of approach.
Yes. We have our fufu, we have our mpesi, we have our bangkun. We do it the healthy way.
I'm not.
I'll invite you. Don't worry.
No, when not
very soon. Especially getting into the Ghana month, we're going to do AIAD. So you're going to have.
I'd love to hear you talk on the air series about our local healthy foods.
Yes, we're going to enhance.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for insights. Thank you so much. Guys, that's all time will allow us for. We'll take a quick break. Right here, don't go away. This is Channel One TV.
Welcome to the Health Quarters Ghana, where medical science meets everyday life. Join Dr. Gideon Asan and the irrepressible Clemento Suarez as they tackle health issues.
My name is Dr. Gideon Asan. I have with me here my co-host, Clemento Suarez. I knew how it felt anytime I started to feel the pain.
Whether it is hernia, breast cancer, cataract, or infertility, the show brings together victims to share their real life stories and experts to debunk myths.
If you wear cotton supporter, when they be a pampers and a benwa or bosom. So you see, instead of it being raw egg, I done it because you know.
Make a date with us every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Channel 1 TV. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and all social media platforms at Health Quarters Ghana.
Bestie, meet my lovely family.
I mean, we can do that whilst I'm seated and eating. Let me put on the food before we eat.
He will be here for days, and I only find out at a family dinner on the day that he arrives.
Morning, family.
Everything in my kitchen is actually gone.
You know, in the UK, I work like a donkey, but here, I eat like a monkey.
My noodles just vanished like a spirit had brunch.
He finished my slightly burnt oil rice.
Half a crate of eggs cannot just poof, disappear.
Good morning, all.
Lesa, have you by any chance gone to the kitchen?
Madam, unless the kitchen wants to be my sleep, you are the entire kitchen.
If I die, won't you serve food at my funeral?
Daddy! Oh! Heaven save us! Now what's that?
Bestie.
Away! Dad, I'm sure he's gone.
Good morning!
I thought you were gone.
The Blankson family is here. The vibe is too much.
Feel the energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the Afro Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. It's now time for sports. Bernard Abequatri joins us for the very, very latest in sports. Bernard, good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast. How are you doing, my brother?
Good morning. I'm a miracle. How are you too?
I'm doing amazing.
Yeah, great to see you.
What are the big stories?
Well, this week we decided to focus on the Ghana Premier League. It's having a resemblance with that of the previous season. So we are in the 2025-2026 season. So in the 2024-2025 season, at this point, after 22 games, it was still 5 points, between who was leading the log and the team right behind. We've had 3 different teams trying to look for the title, trying to aim at winning the title. In the last 2, I recall was Samatex, who showed up in the 2023-2024 season, and the season after that, the 2024-2025 season was BBNE Gold Stars, and now it's Mediama. So there seemed to be a resemblance in terms of the competitive nature of the league. It's been sustained for a minute. What is happening is that we are having this season's league see a lot of capital injection, and it seemed to not have dropped in terms of standard, that the previous campaign brought. The middle part of the table in the previous campaign had teams between the point margin of 26 to 32. This season it looks 26 to 34. So there's a resemblance in what's been happening, in terms of the competitive nature of this league. And there's a lot to say, or there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this league. Last season's take home was super poor in terms of numbers, the amount that the club was taking home. Forgotten exact figures, but it has seen 300% improvement this season, where government also came into the picture to help with capital injection.
The 1 million.
And the 1 million. So I feel the spectacle on this season. We've not had a lot of disturbances, from teams, especially in relation to officiating. I feel officiating has been...
So do you believe that the overall quality has improved?
Yeah, I feel the overall quality, has improved. And again, we are not close to the busy end of this league. And we pray it ends like this, because in the previous campaigns also, we didn't have issues popping up like that. It's always getting to the business end of the league where clubs know, I'll be relegated if I don't gather the right point. Things are not going, I don't want to be relegated. When I look at my zone, it's tight in there. So what it means is that should a club get relegated, it goes into zones. It does not go into a national league anymore. It gets into zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Zone 1 being the northern part of the country, the Chimans, those area, the Brekums, the Bejames, and the zone 2 is the central to a section of the Ashanti region from Obuasi and Cliff down, sweeping through Cape Coast, Takoradi within that range, and a little portion into Kaswa in that range. Being the zone 2 and the zone 3 after the Kaswa zones, zooming up to Greater Accra, expanding to all of those areas up here makes it zone 3. So the club knows that when I descend and come into the zones, it will become very difficult, but the competition, they know it's happening there. Because before the season begins, the various teams in the separate zones decide who they feel can come to the league. Why? Because the team needs to be financially stronger. The team needs to be highly competitive. So they assess themselves and this team is having the right players to go and compete in the Ghana Premier. They have the right funds, because in the Ghana Premier League you travel more. So I feel this season has been competitive. I don't want to put the picture on the Division 1 league, maybe another time. But the Premier League has been competitive. We've had a super clash where Accra Hearts of Folk disturbed your Kotoko. You don't have to worry, because in the last 6 they've not beaten Kotoko.
Yeah, it's just 1-0.
So it's just 1-0 out of 6 games.
One
it's
goal.
Still fair.
I mean, come on, it was nothing. Absolutely.
So the bragging right was on in Kumasi, and last season and the previous, the one who was leading this league won it with 61 points. So I feel Medium are already runaway leaders, 5 points gap, just like last season.
Are they one of the clubs that have impressed you so far?
I feel they've impressed me so far. I mean, of course, Sylvie and Moses Parker, Dr. Tony Obi, we had him, interviewed the last time. They've got an ambition. They want to mimic the structure of the Lalis and Coast to make sure they stay in African football. When it comes to the African football, stay at a certain level and compete with these guys. So I feel they are super ready. I'm of the opinion that they are the only club that is having $3 million, injection. From Anglo Gold, Ashanti, helping them to be competitive in the league. So they have all it takes to be competitive in Africa as well. Attracts the right players, bring in the right manager. They have Ibrahim Tanko, who's an excellent manager. So I feel they are ready for the challenge, and it is that club that can go to Africa and make us proud and be consistent.
Heading into match day 23, what are we supposed to expect? Which teams are playing? And
no teams that are playing a lot.
There
so
are
probably
but what should we, or which team should we look out for?
I feel,
which games?
I feel we should expect high competition again.
Okay, there it is.
So Hearts of Oak, Brecum Chelsea is a tall order.
Who's going to take that?
Hearts has been, it's not had a nice form at home. It's been very solid away. Reasons why I went to Kumasi and was able to pull up that trick. But you don't easily beat them because they've gotten the solid defensive fold in the league. And it makes it very difficult to beat them. I predict a draw in that game, not a scoring draw. Maybe a 0-0 will work for Hearts of Oak. Another tight game which will be happening is that game. The last 2 seasons leaders, Samatex 1996 and Mediama, and it's a derby as well because of where they find themselves. Mediama wants to win the league, already 5 points stretched on top of the league. And Samatex would want to prove a point because of where they find themselves, and they've been previous champions as well. So it's going to be a crunch encounter at the Central Sports Arena, I believe. With the exception of that, I feel Dreams FC in the other campaign where Samatex won, came second and was strong to, at that point after this match day was trying to also do something awesome in pushing itself to win the league. I feel they are going to beat Dreams at home. Kotoko is going to win against Young Apostles. Shredro All Blacks and Holy Stars. All Blacks, they've been here and there a little. I feel maybe a 1-0 win for All Blacks would work. And Kerala United 11 won the same strength, a draw. Eduana Stars will be winning against Hoho United. And Hearts of Lions, they have one of the experienced managers in the Ghana Premier League in Bashir Hayford. And Gold Stars, my good friend Kukwedu has been here and there a little, and the strengths has really not been that solid, So I mean, he's not happy me saying this, but I feel Heart of Lions, they're going to win against Gold Stars.
Yeah, so that's match day 23.
That's match day 23.
Is that all for Ghana Premier League?
Yeah, all for Ghana Premier League. I mean, we should talk
Moving
about
on to
Arsenal.
English Premier
Let's
League.
talk about Chelsea. Arsenal, they have to win. The manager is saying that they can't wait to play their game today. Look, I think he should measure, I'm being careful with my words. I think he should measure the expectations of this football club. Because,
how do you say that? I thought they were in the lead.
Repeatedly, we spoke of something that our father Samuel Atamesa didn't agree when I mentioned it initially.
He's watching, by the way.
Mentality of these boys, they are not there. I know I'm going to receive a message after this show. But Arsenal as a club, and I put the whole structure in fold, they've not gotten a stronger mentality when it comes to winning the league. They have shown that quality not once, not twice, not thrice. They have to do something. And what? Initially, we complained of squad depth.
This is a crucial game, right?
It's important, especially against Spurs, who've gotten a new manager who is tasked to. I listened to Vinay Vitten, guys having a crazy name. Look, I listened to him talk, and he says that the magnitude of this football club, the facility available, all the club is looking for is to stay in European football competition. And I read again that their sponsors want to leave Spurs. Why? Because the contract they sign puts them in European football competition. It has clauses that, for example, if you get out of European football competition, this said amount we said we are going to inject in the club would have to be revised, or we'll have to move out. We have to cancel the contract and go our ways. Then there is the bit of if you get relegated, there's no discussion. The contract is abrogated. We leave the club. So Spurs themselves, they are in a situation where they brought Igor to come and improve this football club, to let them back into at least European football. In European football, sixth position in the Premier League now can guarantee that. Last season, Spurs and United were struggling in a certain position. This season, United is separated. Even though United started and people, the manager, Ruben Amorim, there was a lot of talks. The club has been able to position itself, Manchester United, not really, of the standard that they should be, but at least they are pushing. But Spurs aren't pushing. Then they complain if they've got a list of injuries. That's why squad depth is important. That's why Spurs is not spending like Chelsea. Well, maybe now Chelsea. It's not spending like United. Of course, United, they spend big. Liverpool, Manchester City, and the likes. So Spurs look into the market and see a young budding talent who can come and do something, and they're able to resell that guy, for a bigger amount. They bring it. They did it to Gareth Bale. They did it to Luka Modric. The name and the list is there. Spurs are in for something important. If Arsenal are not careful, I've seen a league slip. In 2014, when Manchester City obstructed Liverpool to that title. It was 2014 or 2012, one of them. Where City were third. And they were able to, and the point margin was that wide. Someone in the 80 points column, someone in the 70 column, and they were able to come win the league. So it is cagey for Arsenal as it stands. They have to be above themselves to be able to do it. Look, Chelsea, they are sick. Chelsea is sick.
I'm surprised he's so quiet.
Jude knows Chelsea is
I'm surprised Jude is so quiet.
He's surprised. Because...
Are you sick? I don't think you are sick.
What's happening? He will use another word to replace the sickness. What is it? What is Chelsea?
You are just inconsistent.
They are sick. If Arsenal is inconsistent, we say Arsenal is sick. Chelsea is inconsistent. What is Chelsea?
Hey,
that's
Director Permier. The director is ruling and
we'll be on air later at 2 p.m. for Football Republic, and then later at 9 p.m. also for Scorecard on TV up until 10:30. There's a lot of sports for you, so do not worry.
All right, Abeku, thank you so much. And to you, our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that you did. We will see you same time next week. Bye.